Hello, everyone. I'm Dijon,
I'm Ayera.
And I'm Bree.
and welcome to the Mustardcast, the podcast about the art of storytelling and how it's used across different mediums. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see our channel grow, and to click the notification bell so that you're notified when we post. As always, free Palestine. There's still a genocide happening, and we need to make that stop. It's crazy. This has been going on for decades, really. In reality,
Right.
this conflict, but it's got much worse in recent years, and do everything you can to support. This is our end of year episode. This is the last episode of the year. This will be going up a couple of days before New Year's, and we're recording a couple of days before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, Bree, but me and A aren't big Christmas movie watchers. So rather than doing a holiday episode, we're just gonna do an episode kind of wrapping up the year and discussing the things that we liked from the year in terms of entertainment, and also some milestones with the podcast and how we feel about certain things that we've been doing with the podcast so far this year. Because this year was a year of change, a year of big change. It was the year that Bree and Christian joined. Christian is away at the moment because he's still recovering from breaking his arm, but the cast grew and a lot of things have changed. And of course, as usual, we're gonna start with animation. Bree, what have you been watching lately?
Oh my gosh, that's a very good question. So I haven't been watching much, only because my Netflix subscription is gone. I can't even watch Peaky Blinders, but I have to get it again because I was sharing an account. But that's it. I haven't been watching any animation. Actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. That is a lie. There is a anime that's newly released and it's still releasing episodes called Common Writer.
Ooh.
And it's like those isekais where they go to a different world and they get powers based on that world or whatever. It's sort of like that, but not. So he wants to be like his idol, Common Writer, that he's seen growing up. This man has autism, by the way. Because he idolizes this cartoon character. And so he spends his time training in the woods and everything and punching trees and literally fighting bears. And it's not like he legit has powers. He's just really freakishly strong. But
Kind of like an absolute Batman situation.
Basically, it's exactly like that. He was like, I want to be Common Writer. He's not, real in that world, but I'm just gonna train. And I think slowly, I haven't watched any recent episodes yet, but he is low key forming a team because he does come across a girl who also wants to be her favorite TV show character. But yeah, it's actually pretty good. I recommend it. It's silly, but it has good aspects to it.
Yeah, it sounds like just a
I
bunch
didn't
of
expect
people
it.
obsessing over their favorite tokusatsu characters and deciding, you know what,
Listen.
I'm gonna become a Power Ranger.
Right.
Basically.
But didn't we all have a phase like that when we were younger?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
What about you?
1 second.
Sorry. What about you,
Animation wise, it hasn't really been much for me either. The holidays get really busy for me because I have a big family, so it's lots of shopping. So I haven't had the time to sit down and really watch a lot. I did start rewatching Noragami for the kicks and giggles, just because the manga ended recently, and I don't think I ever I finished the anime, but I don't remember that much from it. So I'm like, why not watch it again, just for the kicks and giggles? And that's really about it.
For me, still watching Batman Beyond, Justice League Unlimited, and One Piece alongside Blind Wave. And episode 44 One Piece, Nami's farewell to Kokoyashi Village made me tear up. I was like, my feelings. It was so good. Just the combination of the emotional moment and the nostalgia of remembering watching that episode for the first time, it just hit me. It hit me. I was like, man, One Piece is so good. I'm a psychopath who's rewatching One Piece one episode at a time every week on Saturday. I'm not even caught up on One Piece. I have to get around to that eventually. Also watching Sakamoto Days and Ranma 1/2. Both of those are still good. Sakamoto's Days, the first season has wrapped up, so I'm catching up. And Ranma 1/2 is close to ending, I believe. A couple episodes left in this second season. Still watching Mighty Nine. I think there's only one episode left in this season of Mighty Nine because it premiered with 3 episodes, and that one episode, episode 7, was the most recent one. So there's one more left because I think this is an 8 episode season in comparison to Vox Machina, which has 12 episode seasons because Mighty Nine episodes are 45 minutes long. So yeah, Mighty Nine's great. That would have been on a list that I made that we'll talk about later this section, but unfortunately I forgot about how much good shit came out.
Right.
Also still watching Fiona and Cake. I've been forgetting to mention that.
Oh, I need to get into
But
that.
Fiona Cake's real good. Fiona Cake is basically just a sequel to Adventure Time. It's real good. Episode
It's so
9
dramatic.
was the best so far. It was very introspective on a lot of the characters, and it brought back the multiverse exploration fans have been wanting all season. And just before we started recording, I discovered that it was written and storyboarded by Rebecca Sugar, and that's why it's so goddamn good. Because
That tracks.
the goat came back to the series that started it all, and of course there was a song in the episode. And yeah, it was just a great episode, best episode so far. There's one episode left. A lot of people have been liking the season because there's less of the multiverse stuff, but there's also like Fiona's universe is like basically a normal world, kind of, with like a little bit of magic, and so it doesn't feel as much like a like gender swap version of the regular Adventure Time world that it originally was, and some people aren't liking that, and they prefer that it was more magical. I like it.
I think it's a fun spin.
Yeah, but I get some of the criticism. I watched the first episode of Tomb Raider: Legend of Lara Croft season 2, and I liked the first season, but episode 1 of season 2 didn't really pull me in. But I'm still gonna watch it. I'm just not as hype on it as I want to be. But the thing that's really kind of keeping me somewhat hype is just the fact that new Tomb Raider games are on the horizon. That has me excited, and it make me want to just consume more Tomb Raider content, and rewatch the Angelina Jolie movies, which are also on Netflix.
Oh wow!
But yeah, moving on to our first section of the like end of year wrap up, where we're gonna talk about the 10 cartoons to get to know us and our top 5 cartoons of the year. But we're gonna start with 10 cartoons to get to know us. Would either of you like to start, or should I start?
I can start.
Oh.
I guess since it is your podcast, it would be want for you to start. So
Okay. I wondered. I think at first it was no particular order for me, but then I went through and was like, maybe I should like put them in order. So this is a loose ranking order, but not really. Take their ranking with a grain of salt, but it is kind of ranked. So I'm actually going to start from the bottom because of that. At the bottom of the 10 cartoons to get to know me, we're doing both animated and we're doing animated movies and TV shows. And that includes anything animated. So we're not differentiating anime from American cartoons, so on and so forth. It's just everything animated. And at the very bottom for me of my top 10 is like I should also say it's not necessarily a top 10 things that you like. It's 10 things to get to know you. So think about it as like, of these 10 things, each of them should like represent a part of your interest and your personality in a way. That not necessarily just listing out what are your 10 favorite cartoons. Like there are some cartoons that would be in here that I like more than some of the cartoons that are on this list, but they're too similar to other ones that are already on the list, so they would kind of just be a wasted slot. And I'll mention some of them as I go along the way. But at the bottom is Ghost in the Shell. I love Ghost in the Shell. Love that movie so much. I have 4K Steelbook. I have the animated series on Blu-ray. I love Ghost in the Shell. And just in terms of like older animated, specifically anime movies, that's like I didn't watch any Studio Ghibli when I was a kid. I was watching shit like Ghost in the Shell when I was a kid. I didn't watch Studio Ghibli until I was in high school, and me and Bree's teacher showed us Ponyo. That was my first time seeing a Studio Ghibli movie.
Right.
And now I've gone to see a lot of them in theaters, including the most recent one, The Boy and the Heron. But yeah, my type of animated movie when I was a kid was Ghost in the Shell when it came to anime, and that just really shaped who I am, and my love of sci-fi. And yeah, Ghost in the Shell is just awesome. And how about we all do one at a time?
Okay.
That could be fun. Or should we
Yeah.
not do that? Is that too weird?
We can do that. And I think starting from the bottom and working our way up.
Okay.
Just to compare. Yeah.
So how about you?
For me, mine are in no particular order. Um, frankly, because like all of these things are like formative to my taste, and so it's hard to rank them. But there are some things that I am slightly biased over, slightly biased about over others. But at the bottom of my list sits Noragami. It was formative
Oh,
to getting me into anime. It was one of the first animes I watched on my own because I used to just watch them with my mom, and like whatever she would watch, I would watch, you know, your Dragon Ball, your like older stuff. And it was the first thing that like I sought out on my own just to watch because I had no prior knowledge of it.
mhm.
And again, that was like formative for my taste because it's like it made me realize I really, really, really like shonens over everything else because it's like at the time in the anime clubs that I was in, because this was middle school, they're like, well, since you're a girl, you should watch and read girly stuff like Shugo Chara and all that stuff. You can't hang with the big boys.
gotta
And I'm
watch
like, I'm
Fruits
gonna go find a
Basket.
big boy anime. Right, Fruits Basket. And it's like, I'm gonna go find in air quotes boy anime to watch on my own then, since I can't hang with the big dogs. And Noragami was one of my first.
Mm.
And so I owe it
Noragami
so
is a good
much.
choice.
It really is. I love that anime. 2 pieces.
Cool. I've never seen Origami.
You should.
I've
I
only,
can't recommend it
only
enough.
heard of
It's
it in
really
It's
good.
passing.
so good.
The manga looks cool.
It's very neat. And it just ended, I think, if not this year, then last year. So now's as good as any to catch up. I'm still holding out hope for season 3. I can't lie. It's been years, but I'm like it's like if Ranma 1/2 can get a remake, Noragami can get a season 3. So
Listen, you never
I don't
know.
know.
They
Those
be
are
popping out
two
with new
different
things
levels.
all the time.
right.
But yeah, how about you, Brie?
Also mine aren't any like particular order. So like the first on my list is Psychopaths. I remember sitting on my couch watching that with like
Mm.
2 of my friends, and it was like very intense, and it was so good that I got like my parents into it. And so like me and my dad would like sit and talk about it. And if anyone doesn't know what Psychopaths is, it's basically like these I think they're not like detectives. They're like police officers who like go to like certain crime scenes where like someone's acting pretty crazy, and their guns basically detect whether or not that person's like clinically insane and needs to be put down, or like there's like a possibility to save them. And I forget how the first season ends. I don't know if they ever came up with like another season. I've only ever watched the first season, but apparently there's something deeper to like what's happening like with like the police force and like their guns. There's like a higher power that's controlling people and like turning them insane essentially. I might be like far off because it's been so long since I watched it, but like that was like one of my favorite animes at the time. I love a good mystery, murder mystery.
That's the thing. And Psychopaths is a deep cut, like a deep cut.
Very, very deep.
Yeah, Psychopaths is always one I heard. I tried to watch it a while ago and didn't like it. I watched like one episode. The very first, of course. I didn't, just decide, let's start with episode 8. But yeah, I know that like there's a gun from that show that's really, really famous.
I remember people were like making their own models of that actually
Yeah.
like deconstructed the ways that theirs did, and it was pretty rad.
That sounds rad.
Yeah. That's how we all started with anime.
I'm sorry.
I think
I
I
didn't
only
wanna-
have one cartoon proper on this list.
I didn't want to start with something silly like SpongeBob, even though SpongeBob is my favorite.
Okay, go. Next for B, to just get into that, is the regular show.
Yes.
The regular show is just iconic. I don't know what to tell you. Regular show is definitely one of those cartoons that you can tell I think originally they actually wanted it to be on Adult Swim, but they ended up putting it on Cartoon Network, and you can tell by a lot of the jokes, and it's just I feel like watching it at the age we are now, like rewatching it, it just hits different. Because
They're so freak nasty in
Rigby and
that show.
Mordecai
They really are.
are 23 in that show, and we're all in our mid 20s.
Really?
We're all older than them now than
Not
they
yet.
were. Or
I
not
just turned 23.
yeah, not you yet, but we are. We're getting up there.
They
And
make it sound like we unk status or something.
look, if you listen to the internet, apparently we are. But
You know
Yeah.
what? You're right.
like, yeah, 2010, man, was just a special time for people our age in terms of Cartoon Network, especially. Just
Mhm.
I watched vast majority of Cartoon Network as a kid, so Regular
Same.
Show was my life. That comedy shaped me. Regular Show is hilarious. Like, any of you who don't know, Regular Show is a show that will be, it's about, there's a cast of characters and the focus shifts every now and again, but for the most part, it follows Mordecai and Rigby, who are an anthropomorphic. Mordecai's anthropomorphic blue jay, and Rigby is a raccoon, and they work um, at a park, um, at a public park, and they also live in one of the like houses in the public park, and they just find any excuse not to work, and they always end up basically. It's like low key. Every episode is like an entire anime series where they end up fighting God. Every episode, they end up deciding not to work and getting into some bullshit that ends up with them fighting a god.
Right.
And then halfway through the episode, Skips comes in, voiced by the goat, Mark
I've
Hamill.
seen this before.
Luke Skywalker himself, the Joker, comes in. He's like, I've seen this before, and helps them out. Regular Show's great. Have you not seen Regular Show? It holds up. Watch Regular Show. Regular Show's incredible. I've not watched all of it. One of these days, I'm gonna have to rewatch from the beginning and watch the entire thing. But what do you have next day?
For me next, again, another deep cut. If we're talking cartoon wise, Space Ghost Coast to Coast was formative for me as a child. And I know that's really random, but my mom and I would watch Adult Swim together sometimes because towards the tail end of the Adult Swim block, another show that's kind of further up on my list that we really, really liked, Crayon Shin-chan would come on. But in waiting for that, in waiting for Crayon Shin-chan, sometimes there would be episodes of Space Ghost Coast to Coast that would come on that we would watch together. And I still think to this day that show is hilarious. And like the fact that it's so simple essentially because it's really just reused cells from the actual Space Ghost cartoon put in like a talk show format, but it's so simple, but it's so good. And it's like not I find that a lot of Adult Swim shows have like they rely too heavily on the crude adult humor to be funny, but Space Ghost Coast to Coast doesn't really have that. It's more absurd than anything else, and I really, really like that.
Yeah, I've never heard of this, or maybe I'm pretty sure I probably like saw it in passing and never realized this. I probably always just thought it was just Space Ghost. I didn't realize that there was a Space Ghost talk show.
A lot of people know of Space Ghost the cartoon, but when they like relay their memories about Space Ghost the cartoon, 99% of the time I found they're talking about Space Ghost Coast to Coast and they don't realize it.
Yeah, that's wild. What do you have next, Brie?
Oh my gosh. I'm like sitting here trying to like put my top 10 for this list, but it's so hard. Another cartoon is Amazing World of Gumball, especially since they just came out with like a new season that I need to like watch, but like it's so good and it's so funny and it's not just for kids. They do in fact have adult jokes, innuendos, but like it's just like a good time. Like it's one of those shows that kind of like started off like Adventure Time where like there's like no plot until like later on. And like Amazing World of Gumball doesn't necessarily have like a plot, but the story does follow itself in a way with random stuff happening in between. It just follows the life of like another anthropomorphic like cat, fish, rabbit, and some other characters. And it's really good. It's really cute.
He's got like complicated. I get what you mean.
It's so good.
Yeah, Gumball's goated for sure.
It is. I have watched the Wonderfully, or at least part of the Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball, and it's just as good as the original seasons.
Oh yes.
It's great. It's
Honestly,
good.
I'd even argue it's a little better.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to mention also they are like regular shows coming back, and it will be on Adult Swim this time. So
Yippee!
Really?
yeah,
How are they going to continue it?
I mean it's gonna be the same show basically, but they can actually make adult jokes.
You know what? I can see that.
It's just a matter of like when it's gonna take place in the time. Because by the end of the show, they were all much older and had kids, and I'm like, are they gonna pick up from there, or is it gonna take like place in between that?
Right.
Yeah, next for me is Adventure Time. Another one of
Those
those
also.
formative cartoons. Like for me, from like 2007 to like 2012 were like some of my most formative years in terms of like entertainment and the things that stuck with me from when I was a youth.
Mhm.
And Adventure Time is one of those shows. Came out same year as regular show, and like those were shows that came on back to back. And I just remember watching both of those shows together and loving them both. Adventure Time, very very weird show. Like it could get so strange. That whole episode
Sure.
where with the werewolf about hugging, that if you bleep out hug, it sounds like they're talking about having sex the entire episode. Is so funny, bro. Adventure Time is hilarious. It is insane. And much like a lot of cartoons when we were younger, a lot of adult jokes hidden in there. And it's so good. It, like when you rewatch Adventure Time, like and you see some of those jokes, you go, "Oh my god, I did not catch this when I was a kid. That's
Oh my
hilarious."
god.
Right.
I remember
like,
like
I think-
watching Adventure Time with like my family, and like we were on the couch watching the episode where they had like the sausages and they were dipping it in milk and eating it, and it was like zooming in on their mouth, and my parents were like, "What are we watching right now? What is this?" I'm like, "No, I swear it's good."
It's not like this normally.
It's not
Adventure
like
Time. Adventure Time with its like more adult jokes is one of those shows. It's like you don't want your parents walking in on you while you're watching because it's always going to be something utterly unexplainable.
exactly.
Where it's like, I promise this looks really bad, but that's not what the show is like.
Yeah, and like comedy is like, mostly about timing. And one of the like perfectly timed jokes is like when the episode where there was just a horse standing outside their window and,
Oh my
they was just
gosh.
like couldn't get rid of the horse and like Jake was just like, "We gotta kill the horse, man." And I was just
What?
start bursting out laughing. I was like, "Whoa, that escalated real fast."
Right.
Yeah, Adventure Time. Adventure Time's awesome. What do you have there?
Next up for me is another anime, unfortunately. Rosen Maiden, which again, deep cut. I have a lot of deep cuts on my list, I think, because I'm an old head. But Rosen Maiden was was a part of like my anime watching experience in the way of like it was the first anime I ever bootlegged because someone uploaded all the seasons to YouTube and
Whoa.
me back when I was like a young spry lad. This was back in elementary school, honestly. I had no idea how to watch anime legally. That's for sure. I was like 10, 11 maybe. So I'm like, it's on YouTube. I'm gonna watch it because it's on YouTube, and it definitely is not the intended watch experience. It's like actually rather bad.
I have several anime I watched like that.
Yeah, but it's like knowing that like how far we've come and like the accessibility in anime is
Yeah,
very
for
like
sure.
formative to me.
Like I watched the entirety of the 1997 Berserk on YouTube. I watched a lot of Bleach on YouTube, and I watched not even damn near. I watched the entirety of Steven Universe on YouTube.
That's crazy.
The first time I sat down and watched Steven Universe properly was Steven Universe Future and Steven Universe the movie. That was the first time I actually watched it legally.
I was gonna say, the idea of Steven Universe being so old that it was around during the YouTube piracy era is insane to think about to me. Because it's like when I think of Steven Universe, I think of it as a more recent show, but no,
Right?
it really is that old.
Time is escaping us.
I know. We're all unk now.
No.
Yeah, Rosen Maiden's really good. It's about, I realize I didn't describe what it's about at all, so I will. Rosen Maiden is it a shonen? Is it a seinen? What? Oh, gothic fantasy. So Rosen Maiden is a gothic fantasy anime / manga series. I actually prefer the anime over the manga, which is like unusual for me. But the manga is very slow. It's very slowly paced. And so it's about this kid, the shut-in kid. He's like in middle school. And he's always like ordering weird occult stuff from like mail order catalogs and like the
Mm.
internet and stuff. And he orders, or I guess finds like the steps to this ritual. And he's like, screw it, why not? I don't have anything better to do. I don't go to school. And he performs the ritual and like tucks this envelope in his note, like his desk drawer, and eventually like this ornate doll case like shows up in his house, and he gets the key like in exchange for the letter, and when he unlocks it there's a doll inside, but the doll is a living doll. It comes with like a wind up key that brings it to life, and then she immediately forces him to do her bidding. And it starts off as like a very like slice of life, like haha, this teenage kid has to learn to deal with like the proper wants of a lady, but it gets really crazy really fast. There's like an overarching plot beat of like there's a game that all the because there's more than one Rosen Maiden, not just his, and they all have to participate in this game called the Alice game. And the point of the Alice game is like whoever wins gets to like see their creator, who they dub father, for the first time in I think like centuries. And if you lose the Alice game, you lose your ability to be a living doll. So
Oh my
you
gosh.
become a normal doll from then on. And your retainer or handler, like whatever human you chose to like, handle your affairs, I think also dies depending on which doll you're facing in the Alice game. It's really insane.
This is
But I love
intense.
it. It's very intense. And if you look up like the main character, you wouldn't expect hold on, I'll drop a picture of her. You wouldn't expect her to be in an anime like that because she's so prim and proper, but also very little girl. I'll
Mm.
put it in animation. And it's like you would think that Maiden would be very like, slice of life silly, and it is, but like when the tone shifts, it shifts hard.
Oh my
But
gosh.
Yeah, she's
This
very
is such
she's very Lolita in the not weird ways, the like fashion way.
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And that is another thing that I've really liked. Another thing that makes Rosa Maiden super formative for me. It like really developed my eye for character design because it's like all the Rosa Maiden dolls have very distinct, very like unique designs without them teetering into that territory where they're like doing too much.
Hmm.
And it's really fun. I like that anime a lot. I can't recommend it enough. Although, there was a remake that came out recently. Don't watch it. It's terrible.
Oh,
It is awful. It skips right into like the middle of an arc with characters that don't get introduced until like season, I want to say like 3 of the anime. It's insane. Don't bother with the remake.
What do you have next, Bree?
okay. For my third one, I lumped three together because it's very hard to choose, and like these really shaped me when I was younger. But it's Ed, Ed, and Eddie, Courage the Cowardly Dog, and then Samurai Jack. Ed, Ed, and Eddie is basically like these three best friends who like try to scam people out of money so they can get a jawbreaker. Courage is this dog and his old family that live in the middle of nowhere, and like there's always something crazy happening, and he has to protect his family in some way, but he's like always scared about it. And then Samurai Jack, oh, there's so much I could say about it. Just watch it. Just watch Samurai Jack.
I could,
Both parts.
Samurai Jack was up for consideration when I was thinking about it. Because yeah,
It's so good.
I
It
love Samurai
is.
Jack. I
It's
started
funny.
rewatching it at some point. I need to finish rewatching it.
Mm,
Same. I need to watch the newer one.
same. It's funny that you bring up Courage. I actually wasn't allowed to watch that when I was a kid.
I understand. It was very scary.
Good.
Return the Slab really got me.
Real.
That that show is wild. It took me a very long time to realize his name is Courage, but he's a cowardly dog. It took me a very long time to realize that joke.
No, same.
Okay, next for me is you include movies. Remember that. And next for me
Oh.
is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Yes, I'm one of those people
I
who
did not
like
include
Across the
movies.
Spider-Verse more than Into the Spider-Verse. And for me, a big reason I like Across the Spider-Verse more than Into the Spider-Verse, despite the fact that it's an incomplete movie, really, especially in comparison to Into the Spider-Verse, which tells an entire story in of itself. And Across the Spider-Verse is only one half of a story that's gonna end in like 1,000 years. Is because I like, now that these characters are already established for us, I like just getting to see them hang out and interact, and to just really get a bunch of like get the relationships between the characters further built up. I always enjoy that in established universes. And we get a lot of that in this movie. It's the reason I like Avengers Endgame more than Infinity War, despite the fact that most people like Infinity War more than Endgame. And no, I don't like it just because the last like 30 minutes is like the greatest thing you'll ever see in your entire life. I like all the stuff before that, at the very beginning, where we just get to see the Avengers just hanging out. I like that stuff. And you get a lot of that in Across the Spider-Verse. And I love that movie because of it. I also like the kind of like just message about, Miles. Um, we already got him, learning how to be his own Spider-Man in the first movie, but in this one, it's kind of like dialed up and when they bring in all of the different even more versions of Spider-Man. And also, the what did they call it? The something event. What did they call it?
Canon event.
The canon events, and how we'll have to have a conversation about it at some point, but like how that ultimately is for sure gonna turn out to be bullshit in the next movie.
Yeah.
And it's very clearly being set up that way in this movie, and just how Miles, like he says towards the end of movies, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. And I just love that message about the movie. And yeah, I love Across Spider-Verse a lot. And, just it's gonna go down as one of the most important pieces of animation ever made because it completely changed the industry.
Oh yeah.
the first one at the very least, and this is a continuation of that. But yeah, what about you, A?
Let's see. Next for me, as much as I hate to say it, and as much as I loathe the fact that it is on my list, Sword Art Online is here.
Oh my
Sword Art Online
goodness!
is here, and it is inescapable. I know it's terrible. Before, dear viewers, you jump down my throat and be like, Sword Art Online is terrible. delete your essay in the comments. I know it's bad, and that's why it's on here because before then. Before I watched Sword Art Online for the first time, it was banger after banger. Okay, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Soul Eater.
Oh, why was I not on my list?
Cowboy Bebop, like banger after banger. And so I thought every anime was a banger back then. And Sword Art Online really like humbled my viewing experience. Definitely so because I really liked it. And I still kind of am sort of fond of it, but in like an endearing, like, oh, you kind of way. But like back when I watched it, I was a Sword Art Online ride or die. And in rewatching it now that I'm older, I'm like, this is terrible. This shit sucks. But I would not know the difference between a sucky anime and a great anime if I A, had not watched it, and B, had not vehemently defended it throughout my middle school career. So
I mean, this is 10 cartoons to get to know you. So, this really helps describe you as a person.
I was to say, listen, I'm a ride or die for shit. It's like when it comes to things or like, it doesn't even have to be anime, like movies, books, games that are terrible. I'm a ride or die. I think that stuff that's terrible, either on purpose or not on purpose, is honestly more of my favorite than stuff that's well written and made to be.
I agree so
hard. I love trash. I'm sorry. I love trash. And Sword Art Online.
There's like a charm about trash. Like this is something like really like, I don't know, homey about it.
If you say so. Your turn.
What?
Bree.
So I originally had Cowboy Bebop, but I changed it to Full Metal Alchemist because A said Full Metal Alchemist, and I love all of Full Metal Alchemist. Both parts and the movies.
I was about to get
not the live action.
I was about to get upset until you said you replaced it with Full Metal Alchemist, and I was like, okay, you've tempered me. You replaced peak with peak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Cowboy Bebop also like shaped me a lot. Like I remember waking up to watching it and like hearing the intro.
No, you don't get to talk about it. Talk about Full Metal Alchemist.
What? Oh my god. Anyway, I used to be obsessed with Full Metal Alchemist. Still am. And the artist, like the development team, has made a new manga with the same art style. Like, I thought it was like a continuation of Full Metal Alchemist with how closely they look. But I really want to get the manga and read it before they turn it into an anime. If they turn it into an anime. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's so cool. And Full Metal Alchemist, like, I don't know what it is. Like, I think, it can't make me hate almost like any of the characters. Like, even the villains had like lore, and I love villains with lore.
Same.
Except for that one guy who turned, spoiler for Full Metal Alchemist, who turned his daughter into a dog.
Oh, yeah,
that guy, that's crazy. That's crazy. excluding him, but everyone else like descends
Literally
the
the
descends
only
whatever.
character in the entire show that is like universally fuck that
Unforgivable.
guy.
Yeah.
He has no good reason for having done that.
Exactly. He just wanted to do it because he could.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fullmetal Alchemist and the movie scratch the live action.
Hmm. I'm stupid. Next for me is Batman the Animated Series. You guys hear me talk about Batman the Animated Series all the time.
Oh
I
my
recently,
goodness.
finished rewatching it. Both myself and I watched it along blind wave. I was double rewatching it. And I love Batman the Animated Series. It is a big part of the reason why Batman is my favorite superhero. That cartoon is awesome. It is largely responsible for just how much I love comic books, and that just obviously shapes who I am. It holds up exceptionally well. It holds up better than most cartoons of that era. Like, even though I've rewatched it and enjoyed it, it was tough for me to eventually get around to rewatching X-Men the animated series because it does not hold up nearly as well as something like
It
Batman the
really
animated series,
does.
which I grew up watching. And like, but yeah, Batman just it's awesome. The music's great. Shout out to Shirley Walker, rest in peace. The composer
Mm.
for Batman anime series. The main theme is Danny Elfman's from the Tim Burton movies, but the rest of the music is original music composed by Shirley Walker, and it's awesome. She does a great job with that. And rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. Too. Rest in peace, Arlene Sorkin. So many of those actors have passed.
Oh my goodness.
Arlene Sorkin played Harley Quinn, and Kevin Conroy, the best Batman voice actor. Yeah, Batman's awesome. What do you have next, Dan?
For me, this is words are hard.
Yeah.
This is a this is a surprising cut. Justice League Unlimited is a part of my formative list of 10. And that is because that is another cartoon me and my mom used to watch all together all the time. Okay, we loved us some Justice League Unlimited, and I think
Mm,
even though I'm only just now getting into comic books now, my whole like in my later years, I think that Justice League Unlimited really was formative in the way that like it put me firmly on the side of DC in the DC versus Marvel kind of dichotomy, because it's like even now as a comic book reader, I think I still prefer DC a lot more. And like the Marvel movies, I understand why people like them. They are not for me,
mm,
unfortunately. And
understandable.
I think Justice League Unlimited is partially to blame for that. I just think that DC heroes are more interesting.
I get it. I completely get it.
I could never disagree with that. Justice League Unlimited is awesome. What do you have next, Bree?
I have Before You Crucify Me. I grew up with this, and it's called Bobobo.
Oh, I like this.
Well, his full name is Bo Bobobo Bo Bobobo Bo Bobo
Yeah.
Bobo, but you can call me Bobobo.
Deep cut.
Yeah, it's a classic.
I am a big fan of like miscellaneous humor, like just dumb humor. And I don't even know how to describe this show. It was just they were going on an adventure and like there was always something like very weird. Like you just can't comprehend it. And I think my favorite character was Gasser. And yes, his name is what he does. He farts.
I
And
love
then
that.
grows big.
I love that.
But like I don't know. It was just like a good watch. Like if you were ever stressed out and just needed to laugh, Bobobo was your show. I still know like what the description was for that. Should I look it up?
Wait, it says that. Wait, no, this is the description for the anime specifically because it says like it is one of the weirdest yet funny animes using puns, cross-dressing, and lots of visual gags.
Basically, it's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah, but the
silly.
actual description says taking place in the year 300X, an evil organization known as the Bald Empire or Margarita Empire is planning to take over the world by stealing everyone's hair. The Bald Empire, led by Emperor Baldy Bald, will have to go through Bobo 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 Bobo, who is determined to put a stop to them once and for all. Yeah, like that's wild. Yeah, I always remember
That's
seeing
it.
this when I was younger.
It was too funny. I would always
Mm.
look forward to seeing it. But yeah, that's basically one of mine.
Next for me is Cowboy Bebop because
Mm.
Cowboy Bebop is the GOAT. Cowboy Bebop is my second favorite anime of all time. And
wow.
I love Cowboy Bebop so much. The music. Cowboy Bebop is the reason I love jazz so much. Cowboy Bebop is awesome. The animation, the art, the characters. The
the pacing,
characters, the voice,
the aesthetic.
the English dub, one of the greatest of all time.
True. Honestly,
I
Cowboy
agree.
Bebop's English dub is the reason why I like, vouch for English dubs nowadays, because it's like they're getting to be that level.
Mhm.
It just Cowboy Bebop is always for like if specifically an adult asked me, they're like, I want to get to anime. What do you want to get into? If I could only pick one, it would always be Cowboy Bebop. It is the best way to transition someone who's never watched anime before into anime because it pulls
Mhm.
so much from American storytelling. And it's
Mhm.
not as weird and goofy as most anime are. So it's a very easy thing to get into and to like ease your way into that world. Cowboy Bebop is so good. What do you have next day?
My sixth one, Futurama, actually. First cartoon I ever cried at.
Oh wow.
Honestly, first TV show,
Yes.
period, I ever cried at. And I was especially surprised because again, it's a cartoon, it's funny, haha. And it had been funny, haha, up until that goddamn dog episode. You all know what I'm
Please.
talking about. You all know what I'm
Yes.
talking about. That episode, I don't know. It changed my brain chemistry in all the worst ways. And I was so mad afterwards because I'm like, this is Futurama. This is haha funny not Matt Groening. Is it? Let me fact check. Let me fact check. Cause
Same people as Simpsons, right?
yeah. Yeah, Matt Groening. I was right. And it's like, this is supposed to be funny, haha, social satire commentary. Why is it sad? But I still am very fond because I binge watched the entirety of Futurama in one sitting when it was still on Netflix. That was fun. Took me an entire day to do so, but I had a lot of fun doing it. And I totally would do it again, if the urge ever arises.
Have you watched the new
I
season?
haven't watched the new season, but I've heard good things about it. So
Okay.
it's on my docket.
Cool.
Good.
So we're 51 minutes in and we're only still on animation. So
This is crazy. Should I just like list off my like last three?
I mean, if you want to.
You know what? I'm gonna ignore this one. So D Gray Man,
Mm.
Dragon Ball,
Mhm.
and it's between Inuyasha and Fruits Basket. I'll have to say Inuyasha.
Mm.
D Gray Man. I feel like I have to like look up a description for that.
I always heard of D Gray Man, but I don't really know much about it.
I was to say that's another really deep
Yeah.
deep cuts.
Listen, I grew up with like a lot of intense anime.
I feel it.
But it's set in an alternate 19th century. The story focuses on an organization of exorcists named the Black Order as they defend humanity against the Noah family, reincarnations of Noah and his 12 apostles.
They make it biblical. Crazy.
Yeah.
I forgot that's what D Gray Man was about.
I'm low-key into biblical stuff, like Blue Exorcist. Seven Deadly Sins was up there at some point, and then it just got really weird.
Yeah.
7 deadly terabytes.
It's crazy.
Wait, that's essentially what it is. I'm not gonna read this extra long description.
Is that Is that your whole top 10?
Yeah, I just like said the last three and skipped one of them, which was Princess Jellyfish. But I've already talked about Princess Jellyfish so much.
So list your whole top 10 again. Or not top 10, but 10 cartoons to get to know you.
Wait, let me. So I said Psychopaths, Amazing World of Gumball, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Courage, Samurai Jack, Full Metal Alchemist, Bobobo, D Gray Man, Dragon Ball, and Inuyasha.
Cool.
Is that 10?
I don't know. I was counting. So next for me, I have is The Incredibles.
Dang it! I put it on my other one.
The Incredibles is to this day the best Pixar movie ever made. Nothing comes close.
True.
Also, just because The Incredibles 2 isn't as good as the first Incredibles doesn't mean it's bad. I think so many people perceive Incredibles 2 as like, oh, it's a bad movie. No, it's just not as good as the first one because the first one is so good.
It's literally peak. Like I don't think The Incredibles 2 would ever live up to The Incredibles 1. Not to its own detriment, but because The Incredibles 1 was so just so.
It's just so good. It was just such a
Right.
good, like, it's hard to even really say satire in a lot of ways because it was very much a lot of just respect for superhero tropes and stuff like that. And like, yeah,
Mhm.
it was real awesome and very clear, like parody of the Fantastic Four. It's just very, very, very good movie.
And also an allegory for racism, but a lot of people aren't ready to have that conversation. I'll
Yeah.
stand on the
Whoa.
soapbox.
I can see
I'll
it.
stand on the
I
soapbox
can
all
see
day
it.
long. We won't get
I
into it today,
Yeah.
but one
Okay.
day.
But
yeah,
yeah,
please tell me about
yeah.
this.
To go through the rest of mine, number 3 for me is Arcane. You guys heard me talk about Arcane.
Oh
Arcane
my
is in the
god,
same
you picked some good ones.
conversation as Spider-Verse for me, where it's like it's gonna change animation forever. And Arcane is just special. It's just so special. I couldn't care less about League of Legends, but Arcane, fire. The animation, the characters, the story. I like season 2. I don't care what people say. Okay, I like season 2 more than season 1. But again, it's another case of not as good as the first thing, so it's bad. Like, no, that's not how that works.
Mm,
I like season 2 more than the first season. It's real good, and that Echo episode hits different. I love Arcane. Recently got the steel books for season 2 and the art book for the whole show.
nice.
And number 2, my favorite anime of all time, over top of Cowboy Bebop, Bleach. You both know this. You both know how
Yeah.
much I love Bleach. Bleach is goated. Part of the big 3 is one of my favorites. Tai Kubo's art style directly influenced the way that I draw to this day. And yeah, Bleach is awesome. And last but certainly not least is my favorite TV show period, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
Avatar: The Last
I didn't even
Airbender
think of Avatar.
Goated
I should have
list
put
you have
Avatar on my
here.
list.
Right.
is, if you want to get to know me, watch Avatar.
Please watch
I
Avatar.
love Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's what more can you say? Don't watch the
It's
live
big.
action. It's ass.
God,
I
please.
rewatched
Either of them. It's
Avatar
crazy.
so
That, it's
many times.
crazy that I can tell you right now not to watch the live action, and there's 2 of them that you shouldn't watch. It's crazy that we live in a world
Yeah.
where that's a thing. Watch the cartoon, the movies, and the show suck. But
Twice too.
yeah, it's crazy.
Twice is crazy.
But what do you have left, eh?
Okay, so for my last 4, we've got, let's see, Cowboy Bebop, not going to beat a dead horse. We've talked to death about why Cowboy Bebop is an important part of the Western anime canon. Whatever. School Rumble, also formative. Watched that one a lot with my mom. That was one of the first animes that she watched that wasn't Dragon Ball. And she liked it a lot. Which was a really big thing for me because getting her to watch anime with me was hard. Okay, she didn't watch that. Nothing. She's not into it. But yeah, School Rumble. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Again, beating a dead horse here. We've been there. We've done that. We bought the T-shirt. At the top of the list, to the surprise of no one, is Trigun.
I was debating on adding that.
Who could have guessed
But specifically, not Stampede. Not Stampede. 98 only. Now don't get me wrong. I do love Stampede, and I love that, Trigun is getting more modern attention. But I think that 98 is better only on the sheer value of it's funnier. It's like when I watch Stampede, it's suffering for 12 episodes straight, and I don't always have the time for that. 98 is like lighthearted, and even though it definitely has its issues and like off-color jokes, it's like very indicative of like what the original Trigun manga was like trying to get at, where it's like it definitely represents that thing of like, yes, life is bad sometimes, but you still have to laugh and take the good with the bad, and it does it really, really well. And I watched 98 at a really like rough time in my life. It was like, that transition to adulthood, and it's like I don't feel ready and all this stuff. And it's like it really helped me like dial in and be like, it's okay that I'm not ready, because a lot of people aren't ready at all ever for their entire lives. And sometimes life can just be one big side quest. And I appreciate it for that.
Life could be worse. Somebody could blow up the moon.
Exactly. I could have lived in July.
That's crazy. But yeah, those are the 10 cartoons that get to know us. But now we have another list.
So many lists.
The top 5 cartoons of the year for each of us respectively. and we'll just do all of them at once. From here on out, I think we'll just go through all of our lists as we go through the next sections.
Okay.
My top 5 are. I'm gonna start from the bottom again because it's kind of ranked, but the ranks don't really matter. At the bottom, I have Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, and the reason it's at the bottom is because it shouldn't have been a movie. But other than that, it was a good time. The animation was awesome. A lot of good moments. There was one. I want to just call it episode because basically what it was that was just like what's happening. Where I'm not gonna spoil it, but what's his name? Lightning dude. I forget his name, but his section of that movie was so random and very weird. It was cool. He got a real cool moment, but like it was just like it felt out of place in comparison to everything else. But that movie was awesome. Dan to Dan, come on now, Dan to Dan's awesome. Season 2 was great. It didn't necessarily hit the highs of season 1, but it was awesome. And if we've talked about this in the very long conversation me and A had with our coworker Natasha about specifically Demon Slayer, where we talked about how it's basically anime nowadays essentially they get greenlit for one season, and that one season is split into 2 seasons. So Dan season 2 is basically also season 1. Like it's all basically one season, and if you view it that way, it's real good. Next is Predator, Killer of Killers. All Predator movies should be animated from here on out. Predator Killer Killers is awesome. If you've not watched it, you should. You don't need to know anything about Predator to watch that movie. It's basically a series of anthology stories of predators coming to Earth throughout different time periods to fight people and hunt people. And it takes place in like a Viking time period, like samurai time period, and like during like World War, like I think like 1 or 2. It's awesome. Watch Predator Killer Killers. Next, the Chainsaw Man movie. The Reze arc. That movie, now that was a movie. That was an actual movie. And it was great. They did everything that me and A have been wanting them to do forever. It's colorful. It is colorful. Finally.
So colorful.
They're actually mimicking the covers of Chainsaw Man, which are super colorful and the blood is colored. And they did that in this movie, and they're probably going to do that for next season too. And I'm excited for the next season because they definitely learned a lot of lessons from how they animated that first season, and just the fight scene with the Bomb Devil is just great. Still to this day, the best devil in the entire series.
True.
And last but certainly not least, something I forgot that came out this year. In my brain, it was last year. Castlevania Nocturne Season 2. A couple days ago, I'm on Twitter. I don't know what I don't remember what I was doing, but I just know I was on Twitter. I was scrolling, and somebody reposted the end of that last fight. And I forgot how hard that shit went. Oh my God. Those last 2 episodes were some of the greatest shit ever put to screen. I can't believe it. Richter was cool as hell in that last fight. Castlevania Nocturne is awesome. Him
all last season. I was like, Richter is so uncool. Where's all my juice? And you know what? He got his flowers. He earned that one, I fear.
Castlevania Nocturne is lit. A few honorable mentions for me that I had to take off the list once I remembered that other stuff came out this year. Is even though, I mean, it's mostly done, so it makes sense. Mighty 9 is awesome. Mighty 9 is so good. It deserves it. Actually, did the last season of Vox Machina come out this year? Because I might have put that on here if I remember that. That's okay. Also honorable mention, Vox Machina Season 3. Because that was good too. K-pop Demon Hunters. Blood of Zeus, Season 3. Also good. Not as good as second season, but still good. And Splinter Cell Deathmatch. Good.
Oh yeah,
good
I need to finish Splinter Cell.
Yeah, what do you guys have? Top 5 cartoons of the year. Include movies too.
Cartoons of the year. Okay, for me, my list is kind of divisive. But at the bottom also for me is Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. Only because I watched it with no context and like having not read the manga beforehand or watched really any of Demon Slayer. And it was good. I was a little confused. I don't think it needed to be 2 hours, honestly. But in like watching it was good in the way of like, despite me watching it with no context, I still managed to pick up on everything really, really quickly. And I think that's really good storytelling. And it did make me go read the manga after. So, win-win. Next is Look Back, because I cried, and that's the only reason why it's so
That was
low.
also this year? That's crazy.
That was this year. Yep. Look Back was beautiful. I love the style, kind of like the sketchy style they used for it and stuff. And it was just, just a beautiful movie. But again, it made me cry. Um, and so it is relegated to the bottom of the list. After that is Don Da Don. Kind of in the middle at number 3 for me because I really, really enjoyed it, and I really, really like, I'm excited to see the rest, but it's like, you know, just kind of, it's not mid to me. It's just compared to everything else on my list, it's mid. And I hope that in the like partially reading the manga and partially like, seeing the rest of it come out, that kind of changes. I'm excited to see where it goes. Next is what else even say? Oh, the Chainsaw Man movie, the Reze arc. Like Deshaun said, they did everything I was looking for in season 1, and I'm like, I hope that they take these lessons and apply it to the actual anime itself if we get another season and not a movie. Because the colorfulness of it all was just, it was a treat to watch. And especially for me, like a person who has a short attention span, doesn't really do movies very well. Like I was locked in the whole time. And then at the top of my list, again, to no one's surprise, Castlevania Nocturne Season 2. But rather than it being like necessarily the quality of the animation, it's the quality of the working in of the Castlevania elements. I love how they handled Richter's story and like Richter's relations with Maria and Alucard, and like how it kind of follows Symphony of the Night, but it doesn't. But it also kind of follows Harmony of Dissonance, but it doesn't. And I think that it's really, really fun that it draws enough from Castlevania where it's like it's recognizably so like a lot of the plot beats, but it still stands on its own as its own thing. And also, it has Drolta in it, so it just wins. Drolta wins every time.
I mean, except for that one time she didn't. But
yeah,
Wow.
they turned her ass into dust. It was crazy.
Was shook, very shook.
But yeah, that's my top 5 for this year.
I'm probably not going to go into too much detail, but mine is Devil May Cry, Hunter x Hunter, Summer Haku Died, Odd Taxi, and Splinter Cell. Mm-hmm. Only because I haven't really been watching too much this year. Of like new releases. You say you'll allow it? What do you mean? What don't you like about that?
One of those didn't come out this year, but I'll allow it.
Hunter x Hunter? Yeah. It's only because I binge watched it this year, and I haven't really been watching anything necessarily new to put on this list.
Okay, yeah, I don't just can't be mad. No, that's our wrap up for essentially our animation for the year. Next, we're gonna get into comics, and of course, we're gonna start with our poll list and any comics we've been reading lately. You know what? I'll start it off. I read Absolute Superman number 13. I finished up Superman Red and Blue Special, which is a Superman comic that's collecting a bunch of short stories that are only colored in black, white, red, and blue. I read Mr. Terrific number 6, the end of that story, and that was really good. Mr. Terrific Year 1, I should say, chronicling his origin of how he became Mr. Terrific. I read Absolute Green Lantern number 8, and Absolute Green Lantern number 8 is easily the best issue of this comic to date. Oh, because this book has managed to keep me mildly interested for the first arc, but issue number 8 is the beginning of the new arc, and it opens with a bang. Both the writing and the art feel like a step up, despite being the exact same artist and writer. I feel like they both just leveled up all of a sudden. And this chapter is just full of that soap opera drama that a lot of today's comics are missing. And it's just all the better for it. It's messy. You're really gonna love the story and what they do with it.
I'm so excited.
You're gonna like it a lot. Yeah, I like legitimately. I'm not joking, Brie. I would suggest reading issue number 8 first.
What?
Then going back and reading the rest, because I think issue number 8 is low key. It's like you're like, it's gonna pull you in, and it chronicles the backstory of Joe Mullion and everything in her life that led up to what happens in the previous 7 issues. So you can read this, it's gonna pull you in, and you don't need any context because they don't really get into all the weird shit that was happening in the last 7 issues. It's just her backstory. And then at the very end of the issue, it picks up where issue 7 left off, very briefly, and then it ends. And you could read this, you'll be interested and be like, okay, now let me go back and read the rest. Like, if you don't read anything from Green Lantern, Absolute Green Lantern, read issue number 8. It's so good.
But then read the rest, because
yes.
Absolute Green Lantern is so good.
I read Batman Dark Patterns number 12, which is the end of that comic, I believe. Great Batman comic. Batman got me back. They're pulling me back into Batman comics. Batgirl number 13 continues to be great. She's gonna be getting powers next year in March. She's gonna get like blood bending powers. She doesn't have any powers. Her whole thing is that she's quite literally the best martial artist in DC, and now they're gonna give her blood bending powers. She's about to be beating everybody else. But
right.
Yeah, and then lastly, I read New Mutants number 14 and 15, and the reason I started reading this comic to begin with has finally joined the team. Magic. I'm excited. But yeah, moving on to the book club, kinda. So, I want to save Absolute Wonder Woman for the beginning of the year. That's going to be the first thing we read next year. I'm sure we've all probably already started reading it because we were supposed to read it a while ago, but then Bree got sick and it's all your fault. No, I'm joking. So
I was dying.
Yeah, I remember I saw Bree at the event and I was like, "Are you okay? Are you alive?"
Right.
Listen, when I had to go to the ER, that was crazy.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you're good. I'm glad
Thank
you're good. But yeah, we're gonna read that at the beginning of next year. Instead, me and A read Aquaman Andromeda. I was gonna tell you like if you wanted to, you could read it too, but you can do that whenever you feel like it. Because before we get into like top 10 books in general, not just comics, to get to know us, we're actually going to talk about just how we feel about the book club so far in general, and we're going to rank the books we read.
Ooh.
So how do you guys feel about the book club segment? You know, it started because I wanted to force you to read Wonder Woman, and now we've gone further. And now we're circled back. Now we're reading Wonder Woman again. But and this won't be the last.
I really appreciate book club and like just the fact that it exists at all, because honestly, it was the push that I needed to get into comics. I've always kind of wanted to, but I've always made the excuse of like, I don't know, and it's like I say that it was like a genuine like lack of clarity, but it was an excuse. It's like there's too much to get into, and I don't know, all this stuff, and it's blah blah blah, whatever. But book club has really helped me come into my own and like diversify like my taste in things I read, and has given me a newfound appreciation for comics as a medium, and like what they do, what you can do with that like form of storytelling and stuff, and has also introduced me to so many great stories I would not have experienced otherwise because they were in comic form, and also again has fully cemented in my love of DC over Marvel. I fear.
That's also my bias though, because I'm having you read DC comics.
Right. I ain't mad at it.
But like there is also just, it's been changing recently, and we did talk about it a little bit last episode, how DC now has a social media channel page dedicated specifically to the comic books on Instagram. At the very least, there's DC Comics, whereas the other one is called DC Official. And
I immediately followed.
Yeah, and every Wednesday they post in their story the comics that are coming out that day, because comics release every Wednesday, and that's awesome. They're actually telling people when comics are coming out and how to get them, and it's great. And like the unfortunate thing is, for a very long time, if you don't already know somebody that's in the comics or feel like sitting down and putting the work in to figure it out, there's not an easy way to figure out how to get into comics. Whereas with American comics, with manga, you can just go to the bookstore and pick up the first volume and you're good. And it took me, somebody who's been in the comics my whole life, coming in and sitting you guys down and be like, see, it's this easy, for you to finally realize it is that easy. But American comics don't do a good job of making it clear that it's that easy. But like, now that you know that you can just pick up anything with the number 1 on it and you'll be fine. And push comes to shove, you'll just Google something if you're confused, and then you'll figure it out. Like, it's not that difficult, especially, in the age of the internet we live in now. You could easily figure out where to start. And yeah, I'm glad that you guys are able to get into it. How about you, Brie?
Um, I absolutely love book club. I've always wanted to be a part of a book club in general, but like one that's specifically catered towards comics, I think is like more my niche because I do struggle like reading like normal books. Not saying I'm illiterate or anything, but
You're no Gen
I just
Alpha.
like visuals.
So,
It's a dark joke. My bad.
But no. But I think I just like the visual part of it because I am visual and it gives me like a better like way to imagine what's happening in the story rather than like coming up with like what's going on my own and then like what if they release a picture book and it's completely different from what I imagine, you know? But
mm,
book club has also given me like the excuse to actually sit and read comics that I've like been low key interested in and like discover new ones that like I didn't even know existed in general about like certain characters. And possibly get into new characters in general. I know I added like a bunch of comics to my list in the podcast thing. Like Satana. I really want to read about her and I want to get back into reading about Static Shock only because I used to watch the cartoon as a kid.
So I'm actually going to add something else to your list because there's a comic I think you should read before you read that Zatanna, because
Mhm.
there's several things you could do with this. So you could read that one first, and that's fine. But you should read Zatanna Bring Down the House first. It's low key an origin story, and it's
Ooh,
mm,
great.
okay.
Whereas that one kind of just picks up in the middle of her existing career. But Zatanna Bring
Mhm.
Down the House is real good. I'm resisting the urge to be like, no, we should read that for the show. No,
Mhm.
I would be down. I can't lie.
yeah, Zatanna Bring Down the House is good. But I'll leave it to Bree. It's not like if you read it on your own, we can't still do it for the show.
I'm
Um,
adding it to the list right now.
so yeah, that's a good one, and that's a good if you just want to have like an origin story. Zatanna, that's a good one. But also, she's getting a new comic next year. That if you want to like actively keep up with a Zatanna comic, there's a new one coming out. Um,
Awesome.
but yeah, was there anything else you need to say or wanted to say?
I just like also socializing with people and being able to like socialize with people reading like the same thing is really good. It's good for the
Yeah,
mental.
Yeah, this is fun.
for sure.
But yeah, kind of just let's rank the books. Now, one of these books is going to be a book you haven't read, Bree. But
Yeah.
let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's at the bottom. I think we all know what's at the bottom. And
Well,
it's only at the bottom because we only read one issue of it, and that's the first issue of George Perez's Wonder Woman.
hmm
We only read the first issue. Um,
fair.
so it's like if we read more of it, it'd probably be higher. George Perez's Wonder Woman is really good, but we didn't read enough of it to really get deep into it. So yeah, I think that's at the bottom. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Okay.
Oh.
I told you I had a very divisive take, but
You think Absolute Batman's at the bottom?
I would. That's the thing for me, right? Like I don't want to put Absolute Batman at the bottom because I did enjoy it. It just out of all the things we read, it was not my favorite. But in you reminding me that we did only read one, like I completely forgot about George Perez's Wonder Woman. That's how little it was in my mind with reading just the one volume. So it's like by default, yes. But if that were not in the running at all, I would choose something different.
So I guess here's what I guess is probably number one, and I want to guess it's probably Supergirl for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured as much.
No contest.
Because as much as we enjoyed Wonder Woman Historia of the Amazons, it was like half novel, and it was just very wordy and it was different in comparison to most comics. Whereas,
Mhm.
I mean, your Supergirl Woman Torn was also very wordy because it was it was narrated a lot, but
Mm.
it wasn't necessarily the kind of like Historia. I mean, it's called Wonder Woman Historia. It was a history lesson. Whereas
Yeah.
Supergirl was, it was an adventure. It was much more of a traditional comic and a really well written one. Despite whether or not the person who wrote it is possibly a really bad person. But the comic's good, and yeah, I agree. I think that's at the top. That's at the top.
It's so beautiful to read. I need to go back and read it again.
Me too. especially with the movie coming out.
Yeah, we'll get
Right?
to that. And then what do you guys think is number two?
I would
Mm.
honestly argue Wonder Woman Historia for me.
I would have to agree, mainly because we read a lot of that too.
Yeah,
And like, although it was like very wordy, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I kind of like the wordier comics more, I think.
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I feel like that sometimes too because like they're not wordy the way old comic books are. Like, brother, reading old comic. I mean, you guys got a glimpse at it when you're reading George Perez's Wonder Woman. They
They did talk a lot.
sometimes they just be talking to talk. I swear, bro. Like it's like I want to try and read every Daredevil comic one day, but going back to read those old Daredevil comics, it hurts my soul to even imagine because you go back and try to read like I went and read the first issue of not the first issue of Detective Comics, but the first comic Batman ever shows up in. I went and read it. It was good. But those older comics, they just like, they describe everything that's happening. It's like, brother, that's what the drawings are for. You don't need to tell me what's happening. I can see it.
Yeah,
yeah, they just like it. Yeah, but I agree that One Storia would be second. So here's the debate because we have one person here who hasn't read a comic that's on this list of 5. And that's Aquaman Andromeda. So it's between Aquaman Andromeda and Batman for the absolute Batman for the number 3 spot.
Yeah, I feel like Absolute is my number 3, but I'm pretty sure Andromeda is like y'all's number 3.
Yeah.
I would
Which
actually I would have Batman be number 3. Andromeda's good.
Really?
Andromeda's good, but Absolute Batman is just it just hit different, man. It's just that now that is a good old just regular old classic comic right there. That's just that's your I want not run of the mill, but like it's like that's the definition of comic book. That's what Absolute Batman is. You want to read a comic book? Read Batman. Read Absolute Batman, Volume 1. That's some good shit. But yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about we talk about a tiny bit, but like future books that we're reading, you know? We talked about maybe trying to read Witch Hat LA in anticipation for the anime coming. Absolute Monster Manhunter. I know you're chomping at the bit to read that one. That one's good.
I am. But I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
I would have to look at the calendar and figure out where things land because I was thinking of doing Superman Birthright next, but I also have to like try and time the like Witch Hat Adelaide better. But Witch Hat Adelaide is gonna be a weekly series, so it's like we could probably like read Witch Hat Adelaide as the anime's happening.
Very much a slow burn. Like we could get away with it for sure.
But I look you want to read it beforehand because I was reading at one point. I was reading rereading Bleach at the same time Thousand Year Blood arc was happening, and I got to the Thousand Year Blood arc as it was airing, and it's to me it's kind of annoying reading the same thing that I just watched. So
yeah, that makes sense.
I would prefer to try and read it beforehand. So I'll figure that out in terms of scheduling. So we might end up doing Witch Hat before Superman. We'll see. Because is that March?
I think so.
Yeah, so that's pretty soon. But who knows? Maybe we have enough time to squeeze Superman in. But yeah, we're doing a whole volume, so we'll be like fairly like I don't know. Maybe they'll overlap the show and us reading manga. But the last one that I have on the list is Batwoman Elegy. Batwoman Elegy is so good. Also, same writer Greg Rucka is coming back to write a new Batwoman comic starting next year. That I might start. I might get that one physically. Might throw that on my pull list. Batwoman Elegy is the reason I love Greg Rucka's writing. He wrote. We'll probably get to it. Maybe this won't necessarily be something we read on the show, but it's something I plan on reading eventually. He wrote a Wonder Woman run that people see is really good, and he's like, in terms of male comic writers, is considered like one of the best like writers of women. And like yeah, he turned Batwoman from a character that was originally created to be a love interest for Batman alongside the original Batgirl. Because a bunch of weirdos thought that Batman and Robin were in a relationship, and then they turned her into the complete opposite, being Batman's cousin and a lesbian. So Batwoman Elegy is awesome. I love that book. But yeah, Absolute March Madness. That's one. You especially kind of love that book.
Ooh, I'm so
You're
excited.
gonna love
I'm
Absolute
so
March Madness.
excited.
It's good. But moving on to 10 books to get to know me. This time we can all just list them off. I've been talking a lot, so I'm gonna let one of you guys go first. Who wants to go?
Reading is a big thing for me, so this list was probably one of the hardest ones to do. I've been reading since I was a very small child. But here's my 10. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. A Drowned Maiden's Hair is my first because one of the very formative book of my childhood years. I have like 3 copies of that book. I love it so much. This Is How You Lose the Time War. I beat that dead horse several times on the podcast. We won't get into it. House of Leaves, I'm doing a reread of right now, but also another book I can't recommend enough to people. It's very dense, but it's worth the read. Boy Island, which is actually a comic anthology about being trans. And it started off as an Instagram comic, like that was serialized on Insta for like a month, and then the author and also artist Leo Fox released a hardback cover of it that now lives on my coffee table. I love Boy Island. I can't recommend Boy Island enough. It's such a good like representation of the trans experience. It's good. The Mysterious Benedict Society is a series technically, but it counts because that's what the first book is also called. Another one of those books that was like formative to my childhood. The Book Thief, one of those books that we were forced to read in middle school, but I loved it so much that again, I have 3 copies of that book in my house. It's that good. On the same kind of token, the Song of Achilles. I read that in college, like my first year of college, and it changed my perspective on classics and myths because of it. Then A Thousand Splendid Suns, another book that we had to read in high school, and it
Oh
changed my
yeah,
world
I've heard of the Song of
completely.
Achilles, and
It's
I'm reading the description. I'm like, hold on now, I need to read this.
It's so good. It's so good. And after you read Song of Achilles, this isn't on my list, but I recommend it to people. Her other book, Circe, is really good. It's a really
Yeah, I've
good
heard of that
retelling
one
of the
too.
Odyssey. It's so good. I actually got to meet the author, and that was really, really cool. And like, she talked about a bit about her process of like writing the books and stuff, and like how classics influence her life. And that's really nice. But my last 2 are A Wrinkle in Time, because that is one of my favorite books of all time. One of the first books I ever had read to me, and like there's something about that book that is just so special that I can't recommend enough to people, especially in the times that we live in right now. Very, very enlightening book. I'll say that much. And then my last, but certainly not least, is the Iliad. Like the actual real deal Iliad, specifically the Emily Wilson translation, because I find that classics translated by women are better when it like both narratively and like in kind of incorporating the cultural nuance beyond like the hero's journey. So the Emily Wilson translation of the Iliad, can't recommend it enough.
Thank you for saying that because I am always struggling of which of the translations to read.
Yeah, Emily Wilson's work is so good. Her translation of the Odyssey is one of my favorites of all time, and I only read it in like 2020. So that's how you know she's really doing something special.
So you want to go next, Bree?
I only have 7 books because I can't remember the name of the 8th book I want to put on my list. So a lot of these books were from like high school reads because I thought they were pretty good, and then I think like a few personal reads. And so the first one is Swamplandia. I don't know if you remember that, Dijon. How
Oh,
did
when you like
yeah,
at first when you said, I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh wait, yeah, I remember that.
that one was really good. It had me on the edge of my seat. But How to Kill a Mockingbird, Like Water for
Ooh.
Chocolate.
Oh
Ooh.
wow,
You know that book?
classics.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
These are high
These are
school
deep
these are
cuts.
these are
But
like middle school, high school classics.
Yes.
like
But
Water for Chocolate was so good. I love
it's
that
so
book.
good. I would love to reread it. I gotta find that book.
Roberto.
But
And my copy.
you have a copy?
I do have a copy.
Ooh,
I just remember
may I
Roberto.
borrow? You remember what?
I remember Roberto.
Yes. Oh my gosh. But Shipbreaker, Princess Jellyfish, because I have the manga set. Way of the House Husband, and then there was this book that I got from like a free bookstore, and it was called Replay. And I never finished the book because I could not find it after a while. Like it's just gone.
Why do me and you live the same life?
What
Because
do you mean?
I also watched read Replay because I found it at the library, and then one day they were giving away books, and that was one of them because it was like old and tattered, and I have it in my room
Yeah, mine was
on my
also
shelf.
old and terrible.
And
Wait. What does the book look like? Who is it by?
I forget. I know it's the same book. I know we're talking about the same book. It's a manga, right?
No, it's not a
Oh
manga.
dang, it's not a manga. Are you sure?
No. But the Replay that I'm talking about was about this kid who had like an overactive like imagination. And they had like the last part that I left off on, it was that she was looking for someone that like I think her the kid's mom was like missing. It was like a family member, and like they daydreamed walking through the snow up to like the door of like this house and knocking on it, be like, "Hey, are you so and so?" She's like, "Yes, how do you know who I am?" And then I used to like just sit outside and like read it in the sun, but I don't know what happened to that book. It's gone. But yes, I have read this manga here. That is crazy.
Deep cut. You know what though? You've got me wanting to change one of mine now that you say something.
It's too late. It's locked in.
Man.
I want to know.
I was gonna say honorable mention for me. Their Eyes Were Watching God. I love that book.
I feel like I've heard of that book. Oh my goodness.
It's blacklit about this woman. Her name's Jamie, and like she marries this guy who like sweet talks her like all throughout their like courtship, and he's like real sweet, real nice on her, but then once they get like into the brunt of their marriage and their relationship, it turns out he's a horrible man. And lied about pretty much everything that he told her. And it's about like her struggles as a woman living in like, I think it takes place in like the 1910s, if I'm remembering correctly. Hold on,
My
let me
kind of
look.
period piece. I love old books so much.
It's by Zora Neale Hurston, and it's one of my favorite books of hers. It came out in 1937. It takes place during the early 20th century, set in Florida.
That Florida, I've never thought to imagine what Florida was like back then. Oh my god!
Right. It's
what was Florida like? Here's the thing. In my brain, beaches didn't exist before the 21st century.
Yeah.
Like when I imagine beaches before the 21st century, I imagine like the Caribbean. Like I imagine like Pirates of the Caribbean, and I imagine like stuff like that.
Right.
I don't imagine Florida or like California because yeah, there are beaches there. What do those beaches look like back then? I can only imagine what a modern beach looks like in that context, in America specifically.
Right.
Yeah, that's now I want to read it just to learn about old Florida.
I think you should.
Because that sounds like
you should. It's a really.
I want Red Dead Redemption 3 to take place in Florida in the early 20th century, low key.
Read a Red Dead.
Listen, it would be a good spot for it. Like in the way they talk about like Florida and what it looked like during this time period, it's like it doesn't feel like Florida at all. This is a surprise to me actually, because I think they mention it's Florida like once, and then it's just like, you know, any town USA in the South as a Black person, because it's all the same everywhere.
Yeah, and as I think about what's that book you mentioned with the alligators or crocodiles?
Swamplandia.
Yeah, Swamplandia. And like it just popped in my head randomly. It's just low key like tangential and not really exactly what we were talking about. But you know, Trump trying to ban books and shit. And like we read a book that like just straight up features like sexual assault, and like that's probably a thing that kids don't get anymore. Like like kids
Their Eyes Were Watching God has like I think 2, if not 3 instances of on-page sexual assault, like explicitly talked about, and like the effects of like how that changes a person and like all that stuff, and it just makes me sad.
And that's like the
Yeah.
Yeah.
like now they're like, oh no, that's too much for kids, or like it's woke or something, and it's like no, like
No, it made me scared.
like
Right.
people need to be aware of the injustices of the world, and that's one of the many horrible things that just exist in real life. That
Because it's like
right. And the fact
how
that it came out of left field, like, it's very like real life. It comes out of left field. No one plans for these things. It just happens.
right. And it's like how are children supposed to be able to talk about, God forbid, if one of these experiences happens to them, how do they have the words to talk about it if we're taking away like the means for them to learn about it in a safe space?
exactly, yeah. But did you have any more books, Ree?
Uh, I don't want to say this book was like called Divergent
Ah,
that I read, but like this one was based off of like, or at least maybe the video game was based off of this book, but it started with like a D, not Pacific Rim or it's like a futuristic esque game.
is it Everything Is Kill? Oh no, I'm thinking about no, never mind. I was thinking about a movie, not a game.
It might be a movie too. I don't know, but like,
Mm.
it's so good. I have the book still. It's like in the crevices of my home somewhere, but yeah. I wish I could add it. I forget. I might just tell you guys what it is later.
Okay,
Okay.
well, that's it. For me, I mostly read comics, and it's mostly gonna be comics. And I'm gonna start with something low key random. I don't even know if you guys know about this one. I feel like you guys specifically know about this, but some people listen probably don't. Shaman King. I love
Mm.
Shaman King is a just masterclass in shonen storytelling. It is just such a simple story told so well with great art. Shaman King is so underrated. Luckily, the like mangaka is like doing well for himself. I have to find them. I might have saved them somewhere, but they were just like these like short documentaries on YouTube about like how his life's going, and he has like a really nice house with luxury cars. I'm like, oh, I guess he did well for himself somewhere. Because like Shaman King didn't go on to be the biggest thing in the world, and it was a contemporary of things like Naruto and One Piece. But it kind of just got lost in a shuffle. And I love Shaman King. That's one that I wish that remake didn't suck.
No.
The remake they did a couple years ago of the anime was not good. I did not like it. It's by Hiroyuki Takei, and yeah, it's I I highly suggest reading Shaman King. It directly inspired a lot of ideas I have for stories that just they fight using by combining uh ghost ghost spirits with weapons, or not just weapons but items, physical items in general. And the main character has the spirit of a samurai named Midamaru. um and he puts him into originally a wooden sword, but eventually he takes Midamaru's original sword from a museum and then puts him in the sword, and it's awesome. It's just Shaman King's cool. Check out Shaman King.
That's such a low key find.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Next is Ultimate Spider-Man, the Spider-Man comic I grew up reading. It ran between like 2000, I think, like 2015 or something like that. That's where Miles came from. Started off with Peter. Peter died. Miles became Spider-Man. And yeah, I actually didn't read much of the Miles stuff. I stopped reading after Peter died. And like, yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah, fuck black people. No, I'm joking.
Nice.
Who's this? Never mind. I'm not gonna make that joke. I'm gonna restrain myself. Ultimate Spider-Man was like my gateway into Spider-Man comics. I love that comic a lot. Tomorrow, and Tomorrow. I love that book. Good book. We've talked about it before, but it's a novel about these two people who make a video game together in college and go on to do big things, and it's a part romance and friendship. It's great. It's a good story. It's hard to really describe. You just got to read. I guess I should read the description of the book because I'm not really doing it justice. And I think
I'm currently reading through it right now, and I'm loving it. So
I think they were like trying to make it to a movie or a show or something like that at some point. Because I think one of this author's books had been turned into a show or something. On a bitter cold day in the December of his junior year at Harvard, Samusor exits a subway car and sees amid the hordes of people waiting on the platform Sadie Green. He calls her name. For a moment, she pretends she hasn't heard him, but then she turns and a game begins, a legendary collaboration that will launch them to stardom. These friends, intimate since childhood, borrow money, beg favors, and before even graduating college, they have created their first blockbuster, Ichigo. Overnight, the world is theirs. Not even 25 years old, Sam and Sadie are brilliant, successful, and rich, but these qualities won't protect them from their own creative ambitions or the betrayals of their hearts. So good. Very good. It's a very good book. What do I want to go with next? Thor, God of Thunder, specifically the God Butcher arc. It's good, so good, damn good. I hate Thor: Love and Thunder so much because that story, funnily enough, butchers that arc. It's bad, and they wasted a perfectly good actor in what's his name, playing Gore the God Butcher, Christian Bale. He every scene with Christian Bale as Gore was so good, but he's barely in the fucking movie. I was so disappointed in that movie. I could not have been more disappointed because they're combining two comics, written by the same person, funnily enough, Jason Aaron. They're combining this story, Thor: God of Thunder, and the Mighty Thor with Jane Foster, and they should not have done that. They should have chosen one and stuck with that one, because trying to do those two stories that are very tonally different together just completely ruined both, and it sucks. But the book's good. Read Thor: God of Thunder, the God Butcher arc. It's real good. Next, I'm going to go with Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil. I love Daredevil. Daredevil was my favorite. Not my favorite. It's my second favorite Marvel character of Spider-Man. And Daredevil was the reason the first comic I remember reading was a Daredevil comic. My dad had this really old Daredevil comic, and I remember reading that. And Daredevil was just real special to me because of that. So Daredevil was up there. Next, we got Naruto. Naruto is the second manga that I read the most after Bleach, which is also on this list. I love those two. Those are like very formative manga for me. And before I get to the very last one, I want to say, I'm going to say this one first. New 52 Batman, it was 2011 that it started. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. Scott Snyder, who's also writing Absolute Batman. So, he's just a go-to Batman writer. And I added it to the list. I added New 52 Batman, the first volume, The Court of Owls. We're going to read that eventually. That was like one of the earliest Batman comics I read. I love that comic. And last but certainly not least, I did something different. The Art of Metal Gear Solid 1 through 4. I have a lot of art books. I love art books, especially for video games and animated series. And Metal Gear Solid is my favorite video game franchise of all time. And just seeing the sketches by I forget his name at the moment. Let me look it up real quick. Yoji Shinkawa.
Recorded for 2 hours.
Yeah, I told you we gotta breathe. Yoji Shinkawa, his art is awesome. Moving on to TV and film. What have you guys been watching lately? The live action variety, if anything.
Live action variety. Good question.
I don't think anything for me.
Same.
Fair enough. I didn't have much either until today. I went to a Christmas little get together with some friends, and we watched The Grinch, the Jim Carrey one, and Batman Returns, the second world character, because the world is the iconic part of that franchise, not the characters. And they did that with Fallout, and it was good. And season 2 is just as good so far. So you watched season 1.
I have, yes.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, moving on to our 10 live action TV shows and movies to get to know us. Of course, we will be saying them all at once to save time.
Right.
And once again, I've been talking a lot, so who wants to go first?
I can go first because this was actually kind of hard for me. Mostly because I don't really watch much live action anything. Not by merit of it being like it's just not my kind of genre. But for my top 10 to get to know me, I have Nope, which I talk about that movie all day long on the podcast. I love it. It's one of the few horror movies I can stand to sit through.
Another one I need to rewatch, and I might. This soundbar makes me want to watch every movie I've ever watched again.
I was about to say, I've been thinking about
Look,
rewatching Nope too.
I'm trying to. I'm
Um,
telling you, when I get that couch, you guys are being invited to watch Sinners.
Yay, movie night. But yeah, Nope. Sin City, which is a movie I watched at way too young an age, but the visual style enraptured me so much that it has become one of, if not my favorite movie of all time. The Batman live action TV show about the Penguin. Is it just called The Penguin? That's what I have in my notes.
Yeah.
But
Oh
okay, yeah.
yes,
I do. I still need to finish it. I haven't finished it, but I really do love that miniseries. Like
so
it has
good.
me hooked, and I have a very short attention span and don't really know all that much about Batman. So good filming, good filming.
Mhm.
Now I'm gonna get old for a second. Gilligan's Island and the Brady Bunch. Growing up as a kid with like shaky cable, my lifelines. I'm Gilligan's Island all the way down, and I prefer the original black and white version over the colored version. I'm not going to lie to you. After that, we've got Star Trek Into Darkness. I saw that movie in theaters, and it was like I grew up a Star Trek kid. But you know, I was very like old school Star Trek. Like the Next Generation was mostly what I was raised on. So seeing one of the newer movies in theaters was really cool, and I really liked it. It helped that it was a good movie. X-Men: Days of Future Past. Enough said. That movie's perfect. I still think it's the best when it comes to like the X-Men, you know, kind of film cinematic universe.
Mhm.
That might be a hot take. I don't care. The Most Dangerous Game, another one of those movies I watched way too young, alongside Phone Booth and The Day After Tomorrow. And usually I don't like disaster films, and
Hold
I
on.
don't
No,
like
we're not.
disaster.
We're not skipping over Phone Booth.
You said phone, but I was like, is that the what I think about the horror
I
movie?
no, it's not. It's not a horror movie, is it?
It's a
There is
thriller.
a
Yeah,
there
it's a
is
thriller.
a
Like I was like the one with
thriller.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah, and he's. So funny story about Phone Booth. Me and Phone Booth. Again, growing up as a child with shaky cable, you know, you catch whatever channel is on TV at the time.
I think that's also how I watch Phone Booth.
Yeah, that's how I watched The Most Dangerous Game too. But Phone Booth was on, and I was like, "What on earth is this?" And like, I turned it off, but I was so intrigued by like what was going on and how high stress it was that I turned it back on halfway through. And so like, I'm very confused at the plot of that movie. But it's formative in my brain because like whenever I think of like movies I had no business watching as a kid, Phone Booth is one of the first to come to mind.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the different one where like it was three people trapped in a phone booth and there was like a killer outside or something like that.
I don't think I've ever heard of that movie. Hold
I
on. I
forget
might
it
have to
was
put that on my watch list.
no, don't.
Is it bad?
Yes. I mean, I know you
No.
like bad movies, but
I
it's
do
bad.
like bad movies. Dang. It's not even like fun bad, it's just bad.
Oh, you know,
I mean,
you said you love that. You know a bad movie I've been trying to get people together to watch with me for so long that I have on Blu-ray.
what?
The Room.
What is Room?
You'll know. You'll know because you'll be invited.
Okay.
But keep going.
Oh, but yeah, Phone Booth, formative childhood experience. The Day After Tomorrow, I really don't like disaster movies at all, not a single bit. I still don't. But my mom was doing my hair, and there was literally nothing else on TV to watch that was interesting to us. And so she put on The Day After Tomorrow and made me watch it with her. And the less I think about that movie, the better. It stressed me out so bad.
I guess I'll go next. So where do I start? Let's see. You know, I'm just gonna start with one of the like newer ones that I put on my list. I put Sinners. Uh, Sinners, I feel like is a good movie to get to know me because I I love, of course, you know, I'm black. For those of you who don't know, somehow, and I love seeing black people succeed. I love seeing black art, and I love seeing black art that manages to acknowledge the like struggles we went through while also being able to tell a fantastical story surrounding that and make it more entertaining. While also, you know, touching on history. Like I learned a lot about you know, black culture from back then that I didn't know about. You know, because you know, schools don't teach us this shit because
Right.
racism.
It's
And you know, learning a lot of stuff that I didn't know was great, but also it opened my eyes to IMAX, and I like IMAX so much more now. Because before I saw movies in IMAX, and I was like, I don't notice a difference, but I noticed a difference here, and now I've noticed a difference with every movie I've seen in IMAX since. Uh, so it opened my third eye for film. So yeah, love Sinners. Another,
I have yet to see it.
what are you gonna say?
I have yet to see it.
Oh yeah, again, like I said, watch party.
Okay.
Another most recent one that I put on there because I was like, I couldn't think of anything else. I was also struggling. Um, is The Last of Us TV show, because like I got to get some TV shows in here, and the reason I did The Last of Us is because I love the games, and I feel like having something that represents games on my list made sense because of just how much video games are important to me as a whole, as a person. So having a video game adaptation on there just made sense. And it's good. The first season, especially. The second season, not so much. We talked about that, but uh, still good. Next, I have Scream. I had to pick a slasher, and I was thinking Halloween, but I was like, no. Scream. Scream is easily probably my favorite slasher. Scream's so good. Have you've both seen Scream, right?
I have. I didn't like it.
Get out.
Only because I think if I would have went into it blind, I would have liked it a lot more. Because the twist was ruined for me, it's like the slow burn doesn't do it for me, and that's my own fault.
But have you seen all of them?
I have not seen all of them.
See,
just the first one.
There's more Screams with more twists to watch. And let me tell you something. There's no such thing as a bad Scream movie. Legitimately, every single one of them are good.
Oh wow.
So there's more Scream to watch. So yeah, I love Scream. I love slashers, and the Scream movies are some of the best slashers ever. And the first Scream is still my favorite Scream. Though Scream 6 is my second favorite now, and that's the newest one. So still boycotting the next one though, Scream 7. Don't watch that.
Yeah.
I put House of the Dragon because I didn't watch Game of Thrones. Still haven't. Well, I've watched like a couple episodes. Read the book, the first one, the actual one that's titled Game of Thrones, and but I've not watched Game of Thrones. But I watched House of Dragon because I was like, that's like you can watch that without watching Game of Thrones, and I haven't gotten to that yet, and I want to watch it. So I did, and it was great. And I like fantasy. I like that kind of like medieval political stuff. It's real fun, and I feel like that's a good representation of me. So I grew up watching a lot of sitcoms on TV, but not necessarily because I wanted to. Because honestly, I'm not the biggest on like straight comedies, like things that are like billed specifically as comedies. I like comedy within, like mixed in with other genres, but I don't necessarily particularly go for things that are like explicitly like comedies that make genre. I grew up watching stuff like like House of Pain, and
Right.
and I watched a lot of Seinfeld as a kid. I watched a lot of How I Met Your Mother, but the one sitcom that is my favorite that I do actually go back to rewatch is Community. I love Community so much. I rewatched it not too long ago too, and I was like, Community's great. I love Community. That is like, if there was one sitcom to get to know me, it is Community. Next is Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation. That is my favorite Mission Impossible movie. I like spy thrillers. I like 007. We talked about that a little bit before. And of all the spy thrillers I watch, Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation is my favorite. It is better than Ghost Protocol. I don't care what anybody says. People say Ghost Protocol is the best. I think anybody says Ghost Protocol is the best Mission Impossible hasn't seen Ghost Protocol in a long time and have never seen Rogue Nation. Rogue Nation is better. In terms of comic book movies, I chose my favorite. And I only have one comic book movie on this list, and that is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I love that movie. You know what's funny? Also a spy thriller. Captain America: The Winter Soldier is also a spy thriller, and it's my favorite superhero movie. It is so good. I love Captain America: Winter Soldier. And let's see, I have a few left. The Flash, the TV show from the CW. Not a comic book movie, but a comic book show. I had to have one because I watched all of those shows. I watched Smallville. I watched Arrow. I watched Legend of Tomorrow.
Smallville.
I watched Batgirl, even though it was bad. I didn't watch all of it though. I watched like a couple episodes and dropped it. But I watched the first season of Black Lightning, and then the second season was ass, so I never watched any more of it. But I watched all of them to an extent. Maybe not every single episode of all of them, but I watched them all. And The Flash, also didn't watch all of The Flash because at a certain point it just got too bad. But when it was good, it was damn good. And it's the reason why The Flash is my second favorite DC character of all time, just behind Batman. And then the last two, these are big ones. We have first Kill Bill. I'm considering both one movie because Tarantino considers them both my movie. I love Kill Bill so much. Like I love Tarantino movies in general. The only I've only haven't seen like I think 3 of them. Uh, and Kill Bill is my favorite easily. I love Kill Bill. The action is great. It's a fun story, fun characters. Just 2 great movies. And last but certainly not least is my favorite movie of all time. The movie to get to know me the best is Ridley Scott's Alien. I love that movie so much. Sci-fi and horror just brought together beautifully. The Aliens, the second Alien movie, used to be my favorite. It's more action oriented, but after rewatching Alien several times since, I grew to love Alien so much more because it just leans more into the horror, and I love that a lot. And it has the best movie tagline of all time, and that is, "In space, no one can hear you scream." Nothing tops it. Nothing comes close to that. I love Alien, but that's my 10 shows to get to know me and movies. So how about you, Brie?
Okay, so there is Everything Everywhere All at Once. Uh The Last of Us.
Good answer. Good answer.
Peacemaker, because like I'm still currently watching it, and so far it's really good. Has me on the edge of my seat. I said the Chucky movies because that's what I grew up watching, and like I was low key afraid of that doll, and then like after a while, it kind of just got goofy, but I can appreciate it for that. And
Did you
then
watch the show?
I've been no, I just watched like just like the Chucky movies. I didn't know they had a show.
Yeah, Child's Play. I think it's on AMC or something. I don't know, but
Yeah,
it's on some weird streaming service.
maybe I should watch it. Actually, maybe I did watch the show. I don't know. But since I've been on my mafia grind, I watched The Godfather, and I'm currently watching The Godfather Part 2. Casino, Goodfellas, and then the Hercule Poirot series. Like he has like a few movies, and I've watched a little bit of them. The most recent one I watched was like it took place on a train. I think that was the last one I watched. No, the last one I watched took place in a supposedly haunted house. It's really good. I recommend his movies. And then there's The Glass Onion, Knives Out.
You know what I'm watching tonight? Now that I got this soundbar?
And...
Wake Up Dead Man.
Nice. And then Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
I didn't think I would like it so much until I watched it. I was like, is there another one? I think there is another one.
Yeah, there
like,
is.
That's it after that. And I was like, but why? It's so good. Like, those are like more recent rather than like stuff I really, really grown up with. Maybe I should have added The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Because that's what got me into cowboy movies.
Yeah, you gotta add stuff that represents you. And also think of like TV shows, like sitcoms or anything like that.
I don't really watch sitcoms though. There was Everybody Hates Chris. And I've watched a little bit of it recently and realized that I don't like some of these characters. Like I used to like root for them, and then like growing up and seeing how they act, I'm like, why did I root for you? You're evil.
True.
Okay, cool. So next we have our top 5 shows and films of the year. I can start, especially since I just watched so many more live action stuff than you guys.
Yeah.
This is ranked for sure. At the bottom for me is Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, I didn't really dig deep into what came out this year for this one. So there I quite possibly could be like not remembering really good stuff that came out this year. So, forgive me if that happens. But yeah, at the bottom is Fantastic Four First Steps. Good movie. Finally, we get the first family in the MCU after Disney bought Fox, which I hate that had happened. I wish that they just like bought back the rights to the X-Men and Fantastic Four, not the whole goddamn company that had them. But now that they've got them, I am happy that we're finally going to have all these iconic, superheroes reunited. And Fantastic Four used to be, one of the pillars of Marvel alongside Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, and the X-Men. And, this movie being kind of like a return to good Marvel movies, with like Marvel's first family and four of their most iconic characters. It just felt good. And they did a great job with it, and we finally got a good Galactus instead of just a cloud floating in space outside of Earth. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's on Disney Plus.
Noted.
Next is The Last of Us Season 2. Again, not as good as the first, but definitely not bad. Still good television. Still good, HBO, Prestige, Sunday night, 9 p.m. television. It was good stuff. Very fun time. Number 3, I have Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro. That's a good movie. You should watch that movie. It's on Netflix. Great movie. I wish I could saw it in theaters, but it was in like limited theaters and for a very short period of time because Netflix sucks. Please don't buy WB. Next, speaking of WB, is Superman. Again, another return to form, the very first superhero ever, period. Finally getting another movie and a good movie. And, the beginning of James Gunn's DC universe. And it was good. It has its flaws, but overall, pretty solid movie, very fun time. And I'm happy to see Superman again. Excited to have you guys read some Superman comics because we haven't read a Superman comic yet, have we? We read Supergirl.
I don't think so.
But we haven't read Superman, and I'm thinking of doing Superman after Wonder Woman. And last but certainly not least, you could guess it. It's Sinners. Sinners was so good. I've said everything I need to say about Sinners. So who wants to go next?
I can go next by sheer virtue of I only have one. I only have one, and it's because it's the only. Well, okay, I have a top 5, but there's only one movie on there that actually came out this year.
Okay, if you could say that if that's all you have.
Yeah. So, my one is 28 Years Later. I hated that movie. It was very bad. Quite bad.
I was thinking about watching it too.
Watch it
I don't
by
think
sheer
it's
virtue
bad.
of it being hilarious.
I don't
It's
think it's bad.
hilarious.
I don't think it's a bad movie.
Well, yeah, let me rephrase. It's not a bad movie necessarily, but it's definitely not what I was expecting it to be based on what the trailers had kind of made it out to be.
Yeah,
I was very disappointed.
You watched it without watching the first one first.
Yeah.
If you'd seen the first one first, you would have known what to expect.
You're right. And that was my bet. I feel like, I don't know. I was just disappointed at it. I mean, it's a very well shot movie. It's got that going for it at least.
I want to go through and watch the 28 days, 28 weeks, 28 years. I want to watch that.
You should definitely watch 28 days. 28 days. It's a time capsule.
But yeah. I guess if we're talking top 5 movies I've watched this year, I've got The Harder They Fall at number 1 because I really like that movie. Lake Mungo, X-Men First Class, and then The Hateful Eight.
The Hateful Eight.
I really like the way Netflix does their cut of The Hateful Eight because it's the extended cut, but they split it into episodes. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's a smart way to do that. But
yeah, that's all I want.
Yeah, how about you, Brie?
I also don't really have like a top 5 list, only because I haven't really been watching movies like that, or at least I just been watching old movies.
Also shows.
That too, I haven't really been watching shows like that, but it's mainly the stuff that I just listed, like Superman, and then what is Peacemaker, and then was that released this year? One of the proper old movies I think was released this year, the Haunted House one. I think that's at the top of my list because I'm a sucker for murder mystery thriller kind of things. But that's all I got, really.
Okay. Well, that's fine. We gotta save the hunk of our time for video games because that's where we're gonna have real conversations. I also have actual stuff to talk about outside of our list.
Right.
So starting with just the games we've been playing lately, which in my notes, you guys don't know this, but in my notes and in the description, I label it as our backlog. So For me, still playing Metroid Prime 4. I paused on that though and got back into Ghost of Yote. Um,
Mm.
and I've been having fun with that. And as I play Ghost of Yote, it makes me want to rewatch Blue Eye Samurai. Um, and always playing Marvel Rivals. I breezed over it last week because we had so much to talk about with the Game Awards. But Rogue came out, and she's fun as hell. And after playing with her a lot more, I feel like I have a good handle on her gameplay, and she's real fun. She's a dive tank, so as the name suggests, she dives into enemy lines and attacks the enemy, either attempting to pick off the healers and squishies, or to distract the enemy team and split them up so that your team can capitalize. She's a melee character, so you have to get up close and personal to do damage, and she has several tools to help you do that. First, she has a dash that can also pull enemies toward you. Uh, she has a block that can turn into a dash. And she has a dash flip kick, so 3 dashes. And that launches enemies into the air and enters her into a flying state. And I used it to destroy an Iron Man one time, and it was hilarious because he thought he could escape. Didn't realize. Did you forget that one of Rogue's most famous powers is flying?
Right.
So
He's one
yeah,
of the few X-Men that can.
but her flight mode has to be activated through that attack, and then it lasts for a short period of time. But she has it; she can fly. And then from the fight mode, you can dive down. So it's pretty good. She's real fun, and of
Oh my
course,
god.
she has a power absorption ability that also boosts specific stats. So that if you grab somebody who doesn't have superpowers, you just get a stat boost.
That's cool.
So yeah,
That is cool.
it's Rogue's real fun. Except for next season with Deadpool and also Bloodstone. But Rogue and Gambit have entered my permanent rotation. I love those two.
I want to play Gambit. He looks fun to play.
He's very fun.
He does.
You gotta play with us.
I will. One of these days I'll hop on. You'll just see it come up in my Steam real randomly.
Yeah. But yeah, what have you guys been playing?
For me, I finally beat Blasphemous. You said I couldn't do it, but I did it.
I can't believe it.
I beat Blasphemous. And I got the best ending. I got ending C.
I'll get there someday.
It's actually not that difficult. The 2 extra bosses. The first one I did struggle with quite a lot, but the second one, everyone said it was real hard, but I had a really easy time with it. I beat it like my 4th try.
What was the first one?
The first one that I fought was the lady you fight after you get all the bones for the ossuary. And I was fighting for my life trying to fight her. She was kicking my ass. Okay. But the second boss I fought was the one in Mourning and Havoc, that one area with like the anchor throwing thing. I hate that area. So bad. So bad. The snake, Searface. And I didn't struggle with him nearly as much as I struggled with I can Google that woman's name. I was just thinking about it. Isadora. I struggled with Searface a lot more than Isadora, which was kind of strange to me, but it was worth the struggle. And I started Blasphemous 2. I didn't like it. I'm not liking it as much. Mostly because like they've changed all the fundamental controls between Blasphemous 1 and Blasphemous 2, and like you can kind of rebind them to get back to close to where they were in the first game, but like the parry timing is different for like enemies that carried over from the first game, and I really don't like that. And I'm hoping that it's just a thing of like I'm used to the first game, and once I get used to Blasphemous 2, it'll be better. But right now, I don't know if I'm enjoying it as much, which is kind of tragic. I was very excited to play it.
Cool.
And then still playing Metaphor. It's been slow going though, because I get burnt out on it really quickly, because that game is very dense and has a lot of cutscenes.
Anytime I play an RPG.
it's like thought that I would be ready for it because Persona's like that too, but like Metaphor manages to take the Persona cutscene density and like triple it. It's insane. It feels like I play the game for like 10 minutes and then there's 30 minutes of cutscenes for me to sit through. And that's been kind of a thing. But once I think I get out of cutscene land because I reached a new area, it'll be a little better and I'll want to play it or have the urge to play it a little bit more. But those have been my big 3.
What about you, Brie?
For me, it's been mainly like some demos and then some actual games. So like Yakuza Pirate, and then started replaying Yakuza 0 only because they were releasing like a bunch of like director's cuts and then like a new Yakuza series.
Mm.
Well, not series, but they are releasing a new game with one of like the movie actors from like Train to Busan. I don't know if anyone's ever watched that. Very good movie.
Saying it's good.
Mm.
But they're putting him in the Yakuza games, and I'm like, whoa. It's very like movie-esque though, like the way that they got the game going. So
Are you talking about
I'm
Gang of
going.
Dragon?
Yes.
That's not a Yakuza game, but it's being made by one of the like devs who like.
Listen, it's in the same area that takes place as Yakuza.
I mean, it's literally a Yakuza game in the sense that it is going to play exactly like a Yakuza game, except you can drive cars and shoot guns. But it's like not an actual official like part of that. Like
Well,
it's
you can
different company.
drive cars and shoot guns in Yakuza.
You can?
Yes.
Oh,
There is one distinctly where you play as a taxi driver.
that's hilarious. I have the Yakuza games in my Steam library, but just have never gotten around to playing them. I need to.
Understandable. It's a lot. It takes a lot of time.
Mm.
Mainly because there's a bunch of sub-stories. But
I love a sub story.
they have so many sub-stories, and each are like unique in their own way. Very goofy too. Some serious, some very goofy. Mainly
Gotcha.
goofy. But one of the demos that I played recently is called Hellmart, and it's also a horror game. And I can't play it alone, so I have to stream it. But essentially, you're just like this store worker who manages like the cash register, keeps the store clean and like keeps customers happy and everything. And you stay at like the convenience store itself. There's like a room in the back that you sleep in. And you have to like maintain a generator and everything. And the customers are like really odd. Some are like smiling really, really big, and others are like normal looking. But it has like different things that happen each night. So like first night you're just checking with customers and keeping the store clean. Next night you're like cleaning up anomalies and whatnot. Another night you have to like defend off this monster that like kind of breaks into like attempts to break into the convenience store. So you have to keep the doors boarded up, and like there's a hand that comes in through like the vents that you have to hit with an axe. I haven't gotten to that part yet. I'm on the anomaly part, and I got really scared at some point. But also, I'm kind of oblivious to the scares because apparently, it was like, listen. I mean, look out for like the flickering lights above the anomalies, and that's where you'll find it. And one happened right above the cash register, so I was like, "Ooh, let me check the cameras real quick." So I'm checking the cameras, and there's nothing happening. And then one of my cameras goes out. I'm like, "All right, that must mean there's an anomaly over there." And once I backed out, the game started doing like this really sharp noise. But apparently there was like a woman standing in front of me with like a grin and like really long hair, but I didn't notice her. My boyfriend did, but I did not. I was like, I gotta find this anomaly. Where is it? He's like, you don't see this lady right here? I'm like, what lady? What are you talking about? I gotta clean up the store. But I low-key became really like obsessed with it to the point of like designing some kind of outfits that the workers would wear and like other things. I haven't like posted it yet. I might work on it today. And they also were having like an art contest, and if I would have known, I would have submitted for it. Maybe it would have been in the game, but who knows? But that's it for like the games I've been playing so far. Aside from
Sounds
Peak,
fire.
Cool. Yeah.
it is really cool. It's free to play right now. I don't know if they'll like make it cost money later on.
That's a surefire way to possibly draw players. But yeah, but last, but certainly not least, we're going to be talking about, our 10 video games to get to know us, as well as our top 5 games of the year. Also, any games from this year that came out that we haven't played but we still want to play. And then also our most anticipated games for next year. So, of course, we will start with our 10 games to get to know us. Who wants to begin? Bree, why don't you start? You don't get a choice anymore.
Okay, who's going first then?
You.
Okay. I'm gonna just go down the whole list and like whatever you're interested in, just tell me and I'll explain it. So first we have Little Big Planet 1 and 2, Ratchet and Clank, Transistor, Assassin's Creed, including Black Flag, Yakuza franchise.
Why wouldn't it include Black Flag?
Because like there's Assassin's Creed and then there's Black Flag.
What do you mean?
Are they not separate?
No, it's called Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Oh shoot! I'm sorry. But yeah, that one. But Yakuza franchise, including Judgment, Dynasty Warriors, Resident Evil 6, Sonic Unleashed, Jack and Dexter, and Mini Ninja.
Resident Evil 6 is wild, but okay.
What? We be?
Very interesting take. That's a divisive take.
Yeah, most like hardcore Resident Evil fans don't like Resident Evil 6.
But why not? Well, it has a place in my heart because me and my cousin used to play it all the time.
For sure.
That was like our first
That's fair.
introduction to Resident Evil games, and like the fact that he would come over and we would play the game often, and we had like our favorites. That's what I liked about it, because I'm a co-op junkie.
Yeah, they'll get around to remaking it eventually, and they'll probably make a lot of significant changes.
Most likely,
because people did not
'Cause it
like that
wasn't
game.
that hard to play. What did they dislike about it?
It's too much of an action game, and people didn't like
I
this
just felt like this one.
like the story at all.
The story, understandable. I did like the action though, because I love action games.
You should play Resident Evil 4 remake. That is the perfect balance
Maybe I should.
that Resident Evil fans tend to enjoy, where it's an action game but it's still a horror game.
I didn't know people did not like Resident Evil 6.
Yeah.
Despite the fact, like, it actually at the time when it came out was the highest grossing Resident Evil game, so it did well financially, but critically not so much.
Yeah.
But the thing is, which, shout out to Capcom for, like, they actually took the critical reviews more to heart than the fact that it made money, rather than going, oh, fuck you guys, it made a bunch of money, we don't care, and continue
Right.
to keep making games like that. They said, oh no, the fans, even though it made a lot of money, the fans actually didn't like it. So then they made Resident Evil 7, which is to this day the scariest Resident Evil game. And switched from third person to first person, and like, yeah, they like completely realigned their thought process with those games after 6, despite it being financially successful. Not saying you shouldn't like it, but just it was just
it's my childhood.
Yeah,
that's why
it's like me and Sword Art Online. It's like, yes, the popular opinion is we hate this thing, but I don't care because
it has a place in my heart.
The first Resident Evil I played was 5, and 5 is more action oriented as well, and it's also co-op. You should play 5 as well. You probably like that since you like 6.
Ooh, true.
But who will I play with? Will you play with me?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah,
I'll play with you, Brie.
I'd play with
you. Thank you. No, you don't get a chance anymore. Go away.
I'll just wait for the remake.
Yeah, okay, I will say it is worth waiting for the remake because original Resi 5 is it's not a bad game.
In Resident Evil 6, you could like move and shoot, right?
I believe so.
Yes.
You can't do that in Resident Evil 5. You have to stand completely still when you shoot. You probably want to wait for the remake.
Yeah, I'll probably wait for that. But it was either I put Resident Evil 6 or Evil Within, and I kind of wanted to keep the Evil Within on the list, but like, I don't know.
You didn't want to have 2 survival horrors.
Yeah.
Evil Within's great. I still need to play the second one. But what else you have? Is that it?
Yeah, you said 10.
That was 10.
That was 10.
Oh, okay, cool. Is there anything else you want to
say some other ones?
Yeah, is there anything else you want to talk to, about more? I know you love Ratchet and Clank. Did you play the most recent one for PS5? Do you have PS5?
I tried to play it. Never finished it.
Why not?
And I also don't have a PS5, so I can't like go back and like replay it if I wanted
okay.
to. I have to like go to my parents' house and play it.
Okay, that's understandable.
Yeah. But if I do have to talk about a game, this is a game that not many people know about, and it is Mini Ninja for the PlayStation 3. And apparently, I don't know, it was like, I guess it was like rare for its time, because I don't be seeing anything about this game, but it was also my childhood. But you play as like this ninja.
Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is on Steam and is 60% off right now.
It's on Steam?
Yeah. Because I was like, I'm pretty sure PlayStation like released it on Steam because like PlayStation's starting to put games on Steam now after it's been out for like at least a year.
Oh yeah.
And it's on Steam right now. It's $23. It's 60% off.
What?
Get it right now so you can finally play it and finish it.
Ninjas is also on Steam, and it is $1.49.
It's $1. I have to
get $1. If this is the same game, it might be a different one.
It is. Oh my gosh. You just lit up my world. Oh my
I'm
goodness.
glad to let
85% off
know.
is crazy.
We love the Steam winter sale. Like everyone talks about the summer sale. I always find that there's better deals at the winter sale. Low key.
My goodness.
And
But Mini Ninja is basically a game where you go as like, you know, you're like this basic ninja and you go instead of these other ones and they all have different abilities. And like one can morph into like like animals, another one has like Wolverine like abilities. There's one that can like play the flute, but I forget exactly what that does. But like it's a very story driven game with like a good amount of action to it. I don't want to spoil too much, but like it's good. It's good. Just play it. It's $1 right now. There's no reason you shouldn't play it. If
like,
you see it pop up on my Steam, no, you didn't.
so Bree, what
um
do you got? I'm in A.
For
Nice.
me, I've got 10 deep cut, not 10 deep cuts, but a bunch of deep cuts. Because I'm in usually I tend to be into more like obscure, I guess you could say obscure in air quotes video games, but top of my list will be and is and forever will be is Toho 12 Undefined Fantastic Object. It was not
Whoa.
my first Toho game that was embodiment of Scarlet Devil, but it was the one that stuck with me the most mechanically and also is my favorite and has my favorite character in it. So, you know, very formative, very formative. It's very hard, which is unfortunate, but you know, as it goes. Nier Automata, I have platinumed or at least come very, very close to platinuming. I need to do that like final push. I have all the weapons and stuff. I just need to upgrade them, and I'm lazy. That game, I've played it at least 6 times all the way through. Like Nier Automata is one of my favorite hack and slash games of all time.
Mm.
Both story wise, mechanically, I love it. I love the Nier series, but and this is controversial. Most people like Replicant better, but Automata is my goat, I fear. Dandelion, which is brought to you a visual novel by Chariots, the same people that did Mystic Messenger. That was actually my first introduction to Chariots, and
Whoa.
not Mystic Messenger.
Oh
It was
my
my
goodness.
first visual novel overall, I think. So special place in my heart. I will say, Brie, if you do play it, it gets weird sometimes. But it's very much like a product of the times kind of weirdness because I think
Mm-hmm.
the game came out in like 2011, so it still carries like a lot of the weird 2011 visual novel tropes.
This is
Um,
crazy. I was not expecting you to say Mystic Messenger. That just hit me like in the deep
mm, mm,
recesses of my mind.
I have replayed Mystic Messenger recently, and it kind of
Really?
hits. It kind of hits. My account still exists from like 2000,
Oh my
2010, which
goodness.
was really surprising to me. But it doesn't really hit as much now that I'm like older. I'm like whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Understandable.
it's fun for the nostalgia.
Mhm.
But The Witch's House, one of my first RPG Maker horror games, still my favorite. This one was a really hard one for me because like I couldn't pick between Eve and The Witch's House because I like them about both equally. But The Witch's House beat out Eve just because it has fun death scenes. I think they're fun. Yume Nikki, of course. I talk about Yume Nikki a lot on the podcast, but I really, really like that game, and I love what it's done for like exploration-based horror. And how like there's a little bit of Yume Nikki in all your favorite surreal games, even if you don't realize it. Bayonetta is another one because I have formative childhood memories of watching someone play it at an age that I was way too young to be watching someone play Bayonetta at.
Mm.
And I was actually scared of it because of all the blood and the gore and the guts and stuff. But then when I played it when I got much, much older, I was like, this game is peak. And it is a shame that 2 and 3 suck. It haunts me every day. Cave Story, I talk about all the time. Also, I really like that game. It's free. It's free. So I can't recommend it enough for people to play. It's a fun little like indie platformer and one of the first indie games that like kind of set that blueprint. The letter V6 times, which is actually what that game is called. um, Again, another very early on indie game that I played. It was one of the first games I had on my 3DS, so it's like that game is stuck with me. I beat it a whole bunch of times. It's a very small game, all things considered, but I still hold a lot of love with it, even if I don't play it all the time because it's very frustrating. Thanatopia counts as a game because it got a remake recently, but when I say it on my Tend to Get to Know Me, it's specifically the Flash game version because I didn't know Flash games could be that big. It's like the size. It's the size of a regular game, but in Flash game format. And that was really really cool to me, and kind of got me into like the idea of like if someone can make a Flash game this big, I can make a game. Period. And then of course BioShock, which
Oh,
might
why
be a
didn't I
shock.
put that
I
on
was
your
say I don't know if I've talked about my love for BioShock on the podcast before, but
We
I
talked about it a
love
little
those
bit.
games to pieces.
a
Yeah, I love
fellow
those games to
fan?
pieces.
This
They're
is
so good.
wild.
They're
Which one's
so
your
good.
favorite?
Which one's the first one?
The first one?
I'm a
Infinite is
purist. I'm
my
a purist.
favorite.
I like Infinite for what it means, but playing it is always a chore for me.
It is a hassle, I will say.
It's very much a hassle, but like thematically and narratively, I love Infinite, and I love how it kind of like shook up the. It's like instead of being underwater, let's go the other opposite extreme. I really like what it was trying to do, but the execution was a little shaky. If we got an Infinite remake, though, I would not play it.
They are, in fact, trying to make another BioShock game. They keep talking about it. I don't know when they're going to do it, but I'm waiting for it.
Yeah,
they are. But the creators of BioShock are also making a new game. I forget what it's called, but it's BioShock and everything but name. It's very much a spiritual like successor.
Sequel. Makes sense. But yeah, that's my 10 to get to know me.
Cool. Yeah, definitely a lot of indie, a lot of obscure. That definitely makes sense for you.
Because I'm not really a fan of AAA games. Just never have been.
Fair.
Understandable.
Yeah, for me, as a person who grew up in what feels like the golden era of like video games, which is like of like especially new IP, which is like the PS2 and original Xbox and GameCube generation, and then the PS3, 360, Wii generation, where like just a bunch of new IP were being created with the PS2 generation that got a bunch of sequels with the PS3 generation, and then a bunch of new IP was also created with then. Is why I love AAA games mostly, and I've gotten more into indie games, but most indie games don't really hit the highs of AAA games for me.
Makes sense.
I'm gonna actually start with my favorite game of all time. My favorite game of all time is Uncharted 2: Among Thieves.
I knew that.
Oh my
Love
gosh.
that game so much. That game, I love the game so much. The opening line or the opening paragraph of my college essay was a description of the opening scene of Uncharted 2. Which is you're Nathan Drake, you wake up laying on your back with a gut wound in a hanging train. I love that game. That game is the reason I want to work in the games industry. I didn't know games could be like that until I played Uncharted 2. I was like, oh my god, games can be cinematic. They can be movies. They could be big action blockbusters. I didn't know games could be like this until Uncharted 2. And Uncharted 2 is just awesome.
It's just that game.
And it holds up. It holds up so well. Uncharted 2 is incredible. I love it.
That's a perfect choice. That's literally what I would have on my list if I didn't freaking forget. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and as I was going through, I was like, I also really enjoy open world games. What do I choose? And I was thinking like, honestly, I wasn't even thinking about this at the time, but what just popped in my head now was like Cyberpunk 2077. That has become one of my favorite games after playing it several times now, twice. I haven't finished my second playthrough yet though, but I love the game. The game's real good. But the one I chose was Red Dead Redemption 2. I love Red Dead Redemption 2.
Nice.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is so good. I know you're both into westerns, and you started to play the first Red Dead Redemption. It was too old for you, so you started playing the second one.
And we've made some pretty good progress on the second one. But then we got distracted with Lies of P. Yeah. So
I know you both like westerns, so like if you haven't played it, Bree, you should check out Red Dead
I
Redemption.
played the first one.
Yeah, you should check out the second one because, as you can imagine, it's better.
Yeah,
it's just so big.
Yeah, and I played the first one when I was a kid on PS3, and then I got Red Dead Redemption 2 the moment it came out. The day it came out, went to GameStop, grabbed it, back when that was a thing. Which is crazy. But yeah, love Red Dead Redemption 2, one of my favorite open world games. It's just a Wild West simulator. Like it's so detailed, the things that you can do. It's so good. It's so fun. In terms of indie games, if I'm gonna pick just one indie game, it's gotta be Hades. But I'm actually gonna go with Hades 2 because I think it's the better game. I like Hades 2 more than the first Hades. Haven't played it,
Mm.
from the very first day of early access till now. Haven't beat it yet, but even as it is now, I like Hades 2 more than the first Hades. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, it's just if I'm gonna pick an indie game to represent my taste in indie games, it's unfair because like most indie games don't reach the highs of Hades. Like Hades is like indie in name only. It feels like a AAA game, but they are.
True.
It's one of those indie studios that like they make AAA quality games, but they are independent. So it's fair to compare other indie games to them, but it's their fault for being so goddamn good at their jobs.
Nice.
Hades 2 is awesome. If I pick, I only have one RPG on this list because, as you know, one turn-based RPG, and actually, it's the only RPG period, but it is also a turn-based RPG, and that's Persona 5 because it is the turn-based RPG to get me into turn-based RPGs. Pokemon doesn't count, okay? Pokemon feels like a completely different thing. Pokemon feels like a different genre damn near.
Yeah.
like even people who don't like turn-based RPGs like Pokemon. And I was one of those people for a long time before Persona 5 pulled me in. And I do enjoy turn-based RPGs. And it just the UI hits different. It's so good. Nothing else like it except for other Atlas RPGs.
I was to say, I do think
I-
I was a very staunch, like, I think Persona 5 and I guess Reload by extension, because they're not equivalent to me, but like they have the same amount of sauce. Or same kind of sauce, I'll say. Those were like my favorite Persona UI or like Atlas UIs, and then I played Metaphor.
yeah, no, Metaphor is absolutely better.
Yeah.
Ever since Metaphor came out, there's this website called Game UI Database, and ever since it came out, I've been staring at the menu. I've yet to play it, but I've been
So
staring at the
good.
menu. The menu's so good.
It's even better when you play it because it's like all very contextual and snappy, and like it doesn't just look good, it plays good too. It's very I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
But yeah, Persona 5 got me into JRPGs, so that has to be on the list. And I was thinking, first person shooters, what's it gonna be? I was thinking Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. That's my favorite Call of Duty. That's a top 10 game for me. I love that game. Then I was like, okay, but wait, Doom, duh. Doom is awesome. Doom 2016 is my favorite Doom game. But then I stopped. I was like, what am I talking about? If I'm like, I have to pick one first person shooter to get to know me, it's gonna be a Halo game. And I gotta pick the one that I played the most, which is Halo 4. So Halo 4 is the Halo that I choose. It's the first person shooter that I choose. It's the one that I played the most. I played it so much with my younger brothers when I was a kid. We played co-ops on the story mode all the time. I love Halo 4. Next up is Marvel Rivals, the only multiplayer game that I play regularly. I play it every day, damn near. I love that game. It's so good. It could not be here. I love comic books. This is the only comic book game on the list. And it's a multiplayer game. It's an online multiplayer shooter, which is like anybody that knows me, that's kind of insane. I don't play those types of games.
Yeah.
You've heard the rest of my list. I don't play those types of games, but this is the one that's got me locked in. Okay, I tried to play Battlefield 6, didn't like it. It was okay, it was cool, but it's not for me. Call of Duty doesn't hit for me anymore, and Halo is another one that like a new Halo game with a good multiplayer could get me, but Marvel Rivals was the first to actually get me. Next up, I'm gonna go with Resident Evil 2. I just talked about that. I don't got to say as much about that as I need to. It's my favorite survival horror game. It's good. Survival horror is one of my favorite genres, and Resident Evil 2 is my favorite of that genre. It is the best Resident Evil game to me, Resident Evil 2 Remake specifically, because it has a perfect amount of action horror for me, but it leans more on the horror side. And I like that about it. And I like the backtrackiness of it. I like it a lot. And I like backtracking in horror games. I like me a good 3D Metroidvania. Backtracking to me is fun. I know there's people out there who hate it. I love it. And next I'm gonna go Dishonored 2. That is that I was like, I gotta have an immersive sim on the list, and Dishonored 2 is one of the goats of immersive sims. I like Dishonored 2 more than the first one.
What?
You said what?
I'm sorry, go on. I was gonna have just Dishonor on my list.
Oh yeah, Dishonored 2 is my favorite of the two. And it's because it just refines all of the gameplay. People don't like it as much story wise. I don't like significantly dislike it like more or less than the story of the first game. They're kind of on par in my opinion, but I understand why people like it a little bit less. And gameplay wise, absolutely better. And it has two of the best levels in any video game ever. The first one, my favorite, is A Crack in the Slab, which is a game where you leap between two different time periods. And you get things you do in like the past affect the present, and it's you trying to navigate this like puzzle of this mansion. It's sick as hell. I love it so much. And you also have this like it's called A Crack in the Slab because you have this like shard of glass that you can look through to see into the other world. So while you're in one of the worlds, which you can switch between the two, you use that to like see in the other world to like navigate. It's real. It's so cool. Cracking the Slab is a great level. And then the more technically impressive level, the Crack in the Slab is still technically impressive. Whenever you hear the devs talk about it, they always say that was light work in comparison to the Clockwork Mansion. The Clockwork Mansion is a mansion that shifts and turns and transforms based on the flip of a switch several switches throughout the mansion itself. And they actually built it as if it was real. All of the moving pieces, the gears, they built it like it was a real shifting mansion. And it is awesome. And a great like layer of it is that you can navigate through the entirety of like the innards, like the parts that people aren't supposed to be in are completely, navigatable, if that's a word. um because they're meant to be like, if it needs to be fixed, people need to be able to go down there, and you can navigate that, and it's so cool.
Wow.
There's like Dishonored. There's 1,000 different ways to play Dishonored, both of them, and the standalone expansion, Death the Outsider. There's 1,000 different ways to play those games. It's so good. That's the name of the game when it comes to immersive sims. And next I have God of War 3. It is my favorite God of War games. It is the first one I played. It was the first game I got on my PlayStation 3, which is my favorite video game console of all time. It is the game to get me into hack and slashes alongside Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, which I considered having on the list, but took it off because I didn't want to have two hack and slashes. I got both of those games on my PS3 at the same time. So as you can imagine, how could hack and slash not be my favorite video game genre? When the first two games I got on my PS3 was Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 and God of War 3.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So yeah, I love those games. They're the reason I love hack and slashes. And last but certainly not least, my second favorite game of all time, but within my very favorite video game franchise of all time, and my favorite game in that, that video game franchise, is Metal Gear Solid 4. It was the first Metal Gear I played, which is insane to anybody who knows anything, because that is the very end of the chronological story. But it was the first one that I played, and I loved it, and I played it several times. And it wasn't until not even that long ago that I went back and played the first three. I played 5 close to when it came out. I played Revengeance. And at the time, I just wasn't aware of how I could play those older games. Now I know that you can play PS1 disc in a PS3. The very original version of the PS3, you could also play PS2 games in it, but once they re-released the PS3, fixing a lot of problems that it had at the time, that wasn't a thing anymore, but you could still play PS1 games on it. So that's how I could have played the first Metal Gear. But they also did an HD re-release of Metal Gear Solids 2 and 3 on PS3 and Xbox 360, and that's another way I could have played them. And how I ended up playing 2 and 3 for the first time was actually on my Xbox through backwards compatibility digitally with the 360 version of the HD collection with 2 and 3. And then I played Metal Gear Solid 1 for the first time, not like a year or two ago, through the Master Collection, which collects the first 3 Metal Gear games and the very first 2 MSX pixel art Metal Gear games. So yeah, despite the fact that I didn't play like the vast majority of them, including what is considered the best one, which is 3, not too long ago, it's been my favorite video game franchise since I played Metal Gear Solid 4. Just through like watching lore videos and playing 4 over and over and over again. And of course, I ended up playing the Delta, Snake Eater remake, loving that, even if it wasn't as much of a remake as I would have liked. And yeah, that's my top 10 games to get to know me.
Stealing your list.
You say again?
I'm stealing your list.
It is a very good list.
You have a lot of the games that I completely forgot to put on my list.
Good games. A lot of good games.
A lot of good games. It's so hard to choose.
Yeah, but next, how about the top 5 games of the year that released this year? If you didn't play enough games this year, you can do the games that you just played this year but didn't come out this year. But if you actually have top 5 games, or at least 5 games that you played this year, Do that. Who wants to start?
I have a cool 4, actually.
Okay.
Then my last one's not one that came out this year, but my first in line, because these are ranked, first in line and first that kind of like came to mind was Deltarune chapters 3 and 4. Chapter 3 was really, really good, right? Don't get me wrong, I love Deltarune. I love all of it. I love chapter 1, I love chapter 2. Chapter 3 was really, really good, but chapter 4 is one of the best games I've ever played. Like soundtrack, at least this year. Soundtrack, like mechanics, story, all of it, just chef's kiss. And like the fact that it's only the halfway point for Deltarune makes me scared for the future chapters, but also excited to see just how peak it gets. Also, it gave us Third Sanctuary. That's like Toby Fox's best song ever, I fear. Next after that is Hades 2. And the only reason Deltarune beat out Hades 2 for me is because I played Hades 2 kind of late after it came out of early access. So I'm only just now learning to enjoy it. And I played through Deltarune chapter 4 day 1. So, you know, more fond of it just by simple proximity. Then number 3 for me, Dispatch. It's not a bad game. I really, really enjoyed Dispatch. It's just I wanted a little bit more from it. And was a little disappointed that it didn't really actually no. I'm gonna switch my 3 and my 4. My 3 is actually Liza P. Overture, which was really, 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 really good. We just finished it recently. And the only reason it's at number 3 is because I wish the main game was like Overture. And I'm hoping the second game will also be more Overture-like, because it took everything I liked about the original Liza P and made it better, and kind of eschewed all the things that made the base game frustrating to play. So 4th for me, Dispatch. Not a bad game at all by any means. It's got a lot of talent, got a lot of heart. I just want more from it. Was very, just left a lot to be desired. And then my 5th game that I started this year but did not come out this year is Metaphor. Refantasio, simply because I've only played a little bit of it. I think I'm only like how many hours in? Steam, help me, girl. I'm not that far into it, so I can't really give it a fair judgment, but I am liking it so far. I just wish there were less cutscenes.
I see.
Less cutscenes, less dialogue.
Very understandable. I hate when you get stuck in the cutscene trap in one of those games, and that's another thing that makes those games so hard to play, is finding
a
good stopping point. Because any other game, you just it either auto saves or you manual save and you just close the fucking game. You unplug the TV. But I legitimately unplug everything in my house but
real.
In these Atlas JRPGs, you have to really dedicate time, because you have to know that you have enough time to find a stopping point, because it's gonna either you gotta like run through half the dungeon to find a save point, or you have to sit through a bunch of fucking cutscenes, or both.
Right. God forbid it's both. Metaphor does both a lot of the time, and it's frustrating. I am 38 hours into this game, and I'm only just now reaching like the 3rd area. To put it into kind of like perspective for those who have not played Metaphor Refantasio, 38 hours into this video game, have only just now reached the 3rd area. But yeah, that's my top 5 for this year.
My top 5 is pretty basic. It's just Hellmart, Peak, Sonic Cross Worlds, because I really want to play that at some point. Super Mario Party.
You didn't play it at the event? It was over there on the screen.
Look, they were changing the game like a lot, and I was like, I don't want to go over there and be like, "Hey, change it back to this so I can play."
No, you should have said that. Corey loves that game.
Why? Well, I didn't know that.
Corey loves that game. Next time you visit Cat, just play it with Corey. He'll love to play it with you.
But Super Mario Party Jamboree, because I love the Rhythm Kitchen. And then Crash Out Crew. It's not out yet, but like they had a long demo and it's really fun.
Okay.
Sick. I see you're into the friend slop.
I love friend slop. I want to play with friends.
Yay, friend slop.
There's not enough friend slop, or at least they're getting back into it, because like it used to just be like single player games or like online stuff, but like I like couch playing games
I like
personally.
couch co-op too, but like there's
Mm.
not a because
I say,
I like single player games, and the only way I get a good multiplayer single player experience is through co-op. And I've been
Yeah.
playing. What is it? I've been playing through my youngest brother, who's 12 years younger than me. I've been playing through all the Halo games with him. We're currently still stuck on. We're hard stuck on Halo 2 because he moved out of the city and we have to find time. But we're playing that in co-op. We started
mm,
playing and almost finished. It Takes Two. Um, and I want to play their second game, Hazelight Studios. It's not their second game. It's like their fourth, fifth game, but their like third co-op game. What is it called? I'll look it up. But what are you about to say?
oh yeah, I don't know. Something about this year has given me like a big new appreciation for couch co-op. Because me, beforehand,
Split Fiction.
I'm single player only. Split
Mm.
fiction. Okay.
Split
But
fiction,
yeah, me
interesting.
personally. Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I thought Split Fiction was pretty cool. But yeah, like I was strictly single player only. I'm like, I don't want to play anything with anybody. I just don't feel like
Mm.
being bothered. But in like moving out to my own place with my partner and like just having more time to play video games now, it's like I get couch co-op. It's very fun.
I,
And I
I
lament that I dogged on it before.
yeah, your
I
siblings
can't
are
believe
like your siblings are like significantly younger than you, so like you didn't have the
Yeah.
experience
And
I
that was
yeah you didn't have the experience
the
I did, which was my sister's 2 years are going to be my twin brothers are 4 years are going to be. We played a lot of games together, so we played a lot of games couch co-op
it.
together.
Yeah, same with my
Yeah,
siblings.
for me, my siblings for reference, my siblings are 15 and 17 years apart from me.
Wow.
So like yeah, the age gap is huge, and so trying to play couch co-op games with them is basically putting the controller in the baby's hands and watching them earn 12th place in Mario Kart every time. It's not fun. But I think now that they're a little older, we'll probably have a better time playing games together.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Understandable,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm glad a little bit more couch co-op games are being made, but I need more.
Yeah. Or at least like better co-op games.
Yeah,
They have been releasing more, but like I don't know. I feel like I'm needing something very specific, and I don't know what that is yet.
I need more
Mm.
armies of twos. I need more Resident Evil 5 and 6s. I need more stuff like that. I need more
Yeah.
Gears of War,
I
which we're getting
need
a new Gears of War. Like I need stuff like that, like co-op action games.
I need something that plays like those shooter games in the arcade, like in Dave and Buster's and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's one called Dead Nation. That's the first like horror shooting game I would play. It was like top down kind of, and I would play that with
Mm,
like my dad or like my brothers or my cousin, like anybody. Like it was a really good game. I love strategic
mm.
games
Have to
like
check it
that.
out.
But yeah, that's a really good couch
Okay.
co-op. I think you can in fact play online. I've never played online before, only just couch co-op. And like it kind of holds up to this day. Like the story changes
That's
depending on
good.
what depending if like you continue doing the couch play. So like if
Hmm.
like your partner is gone in the game, it's just like, oh yeah, so and so dropped off or like disappeared or died. So it's just me continuing the story.
Oh,
And I'm like,
I
whoa,
love
well, they promised
that.
everything.
Yeah.
But they're like, it's unfortunate they couldn't make it to the end with me, but they'll always be in my heart. I'm like,
Mm,
okay, that's pretty neat. I wish they would remake it
yeah.
though, or at least like do like a second game. But like, how do you make a second game like that?
Yeah. It sounds like it takes a lot of work.
but yeah. For me, my top 5 games of the year. At number 5, we have Donkey Kong Bonanza. Love that game.
Ooh.
That game was real fun. Good time with that
Mm,
one. Like first game I really sat down and just played all the way through on my Switch too. Um, real good game, real fun. Shout out Donkey Kong. Uh, next is Dispatch. Great game. Um, Similar to like wasn't exactly what I wanted, but by the end, it did. What's the phrase? It landed to something. What's that phrase?
Stuck the landing.
Stuck the landing. There you go. It stuck the. I didn't stick the landing, but Dispatch stuck the landing. Good game. Uh, Metro Prime 4. Been playing that a lot. That game, I'm obsessed with it right now. Hades 2. Love that. Um, and can you guess what my favorite game of the year is? Can you guess what game of the year is?
Oh my gosh, what was the Hollow Knight Silk song? Just kidding.
So yeah, Clay Obscure Expedition 33. Love that game to death.
Of course.
I'm excited to play that free DLC eventually. But yeah, in terms of like games from this year that I still want to play, you brought it up. I do want to play Hollow Knight Silk Song, and I'm gonna play it before I play the first
Me
one.
too.
I want to check it out.
Ooh, divisive.
And Unbeatable is out. Unbeatable is a
Yeah.
rhythm game where music is illegal and you do crime. That is literally how they describe it. I played the demo. It was a good time. It has a fun art style. Definitely look it up and see how it looks. Bree, you might like it. It's really cool. It has this really fun art style where it's like 3D backgrounds, but like 2D, almost paper cutout, anime looking characters, and it's really cool.
What's it called?
Unbeatable. And yeah, it's everywhere, and it's out right now. And I need to get it. Sword of the Sea is a game by
Ooh.
I don't know if it's by the devs of Journey, but I know they're like people who worked on Journey worked on Sword of the Sea, and you essentially are like surfing on a sword in a sea of sand and some water, and it's like Journey, where it's like this chill, just like platforming game. And as a fan of Journey, I'm like, that looks fun. That looks like a good time. I want to check that out. Now, last but certainly not least, is a survival horror game, Chronos: The New Dawn, which is this very kind of like Dead Space inspired looking game from this Ukrainian studio that involves a lot of time travel. That people have said was really good, and I've had my eyes on it since it was announced. It's by Bloober Team actually, which is the studio that did the Silent Hill 2 remake, and they're about to remake Silent Hill 1. So yeah, I want to check that out. But yeah, that's all I have in terms of games from that came out this year that I still want to play. Any games that came out this year that you guys still want to play?
Oh, for me, Silent Hill F. It's in my backlog. I haven't worked up the courage to play it yet. But I Kishio 7's storytelling style because I am currently reading through Umineko. And I like Silent Hill. I like survival horror games now a lot more because of Signalis. So I'm like, I can do it, but I don't think I can do it alone. So I have to wait until my friends stop chickening out and we can all play it together. But
yeah, I thought I wanted to play it, but I don't. It's not action enough for me. There's no guns. No guns, no play. That's not true. That's not true. I would play a survival horror game where it's mostly melee, but it has to be like more just like hack and slash almost melee. Not the type of melee that Silent Hill F has. Yeah, anything else?
The game that I think I would kind of want to play is the Silk Song and Hades 2. Because I do enjoy Hades. I just need to get back into playing the games. Yeah. And I always see stuff about Silk Song, so maybe I should like dip my toe into it and see if I like it or not. Yeah. And maybe Ghost of Yotei.
Ghost of Yotei is a good time.
Ghost of Yotei is another one that I also want to play.
PS5 exclusive.
PS5.
Yeah. I just gotta borrow a PS5.
Yeah, borrow.
Yeah, for my brother. He's trying to play it right
from
now.
the Walmart permanently.
Yeah, I'm just gonna borrow from Target.
Nice.
But yeah, and last but certainly not least, what are your most anticipated games that are coming out next year? Or at least are scheduled to come out next year. Who knows, everything gets delayed into 2027. But what are you excited for?
I think for me, definitely the Tomodachi Life, the new one. And I guess by extension, the new Rhythm Heaven. Those are really my big two.
Is Rhythm Heaven next year?
Rhythm Heaven is next year.
Okay. Because I remember it was like announced super early, and everybody was like, "Why?" It's like that meme from Uncut Gems. Why the fuck would you show it to me if I can't have it?
Right? Yeah. Rhythm Heaven Groove. It launches in 2026.
Well, maybe I have to get into that because I love Rhythm Heaven. I didn't know they were making a new game. That's cool. Mine would probably have to be like Tomb Raider and Stranger Than Heaven if they're going to release it next year.
Yeah, excited for that Tomb Raider remake as well. I'm excited to see how it plays mostly, because I assume it'll probably be like the most recent ones in terms of gameplay, but like mixing in levels from the original game. That'll be interesting to see how they mix that, because they didn't show much gameplay. But yeah, for me, The one that's closest to coming out, let me just put it that way, is Resident Evil 9. That comes out in February 26th. I'm real excited for that one. We just talked about that. Real excited for that one. After that, in March, is 007 First Light. That's a immersive sim style game. Definitely excited for that. Don't know necessarily. I think this is scheduled for fall, and that's Wolverine. Real excited for that one.
Oh yeah.
And then one that has a date, which is my grandmother's birthday. Sorry, Grandma. Is GTA 6 if it doesn't get delayed until 2027.
Oh my god.
That easily top of the list is GTA 6.
You want to get that game when you turn 30 at this point.
Real excited.
They keep delaying it.
Right.
Look, I'm gonna be 30 tomorrow. No, I'll be legitimately. I'll be 26 when this game comes out.
Exactly, which is crazy.
Wait, yeah, 26. Sounds like how old am I? I'll be.
I don't like thinking about how close to 30 we are.
Shh, don't say that. I have what is it? I was hanging out at the like Christmas party I went to. Corey was there. He's 26, and I was like, "Damn, son, you getting up there?"
What? Oh my god.
Yeah. There was a couple of friends there who were around the same age. I was like, "Damn, y'all getting old." Like the moment people I know turn 27, I'm talking shit because you are about 30. You're officially in your late 20s. You're old. You're unk.
You're unk.
You're unk.
You need to.
I'm so glad that
you need to start. You need to start. Need to start stretching now because your back's about to give out on you. And your body should not be breaking out at 30. Start stretching, and I mean that to me too because I don't be stretching. I need to start stretching before it's too late.
I gotta start hitting the
Me
gym.
too. Yeah.
I gotta work out later, but I just also ordered some ramen. Which one will I do first? We'll find out.
Work out first, ramen later.
It depends on how fast it gets here.
That's the reward.
True. Yeah.
Fair.
But yeah, that's all I got. This has been a great year for the Muscats. A lot of big change, a lot of new people. Excited for what the next year holds. This is a great episode. It's gonna be a longest episode. Gonna take a long time to edit, but
yeah,
it was worth it. Happy holidays, everybody, and happy New Year.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And
Merry
holidays and all
Christmas.
those things. Yay.
Happy Kwanzaa.